Archie, luxury jumps on a Boeing jet, leaves behind the family, no regrets. He's got a birthday, I'm your old Shanghai. Eyes are on Mrs. Lai, the reason why. While in Brisbane, the tears roll strong. Chinese whispers called him to Hong Kong. Pack up your bags and off you go. Leave behind the begging for the Luxy show. Archie flies where the dragon soared to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore. Archie's chasing dreams in the mystic land. Mrs. Lai brings coffee to his hand. Family's calls echo on the phone. He's miles away, lost, but he's not alone. In old Shenzhen's glow, he likes to stray. With Mrs. Lai, they bonk till the light of day. Pack up your bags and off you go. He's not showing up to New York watch show. Archie flies where the dragons soar to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore. Though the tears roll down in Brisbane town, Archie's 3-inch dick flops all around. Celebrations in the neon night, forgetting home, he's chasing new Asian delight. Pack up your bags and off you go. Leave the begging for the beach ball show. Archie flies where the dragons soar to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore. Weeks later, Archie leaves his playground. Comes back home, he's Brisbane bound. Comes up with stories that he's going bust. Has to fool the punters to gain their trust. Pack up your bags and off you go. Leave the begging for the beach ball show. Archie flies where the dragons soar to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore. Archie spent the punter's money, he's in a fix. Spins a story that he can't eat bricks. All the lonely simps believe his scam. Grab all their cash, shove it in his hand. Pack up your bags and off you go. He didn't bother with the New York watch show. Archie flies where the dragons soar to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore. Comes on streams, he cries poor again. His mate Tan gives him $5 grand, maybe 10. Archie thinks he's a big swing dick, cause the punters fall for his gypsy shtick. Pack up your bags and off you go. Didn't bother with the New York watch show. Archie flies where the dragons soar to romance Mrs. Lai until his balls are sore.
Welcome to the program. Welcome to the show, guys. This is the Archie Luxury Livestream and the Archie Luxury channel. We are multicasting on 2 channels. Archie Luxury Livestream for those that love the live streaming channel, the live streaming game. That's where the majority of the chat's going to be tonight. But we also have the live stream on the Archie Luxury channel, the channel with all the main videos. So if you are on that channel and wonder why you don't have a wrench, you're probably on the wrong channel, guys. Archie is going to be a little late. He sent me a message saying, hey, I'm having an electrical issue. I'm going to be there in about 30 minutes. So I said, why waste a good, 30 minutes, and let's do some watch talk. Let's get this show started right before the Pontiff gets here. But I'll say hello to some folks who've joined us in the chat already. First in the chat tonight, One You See It. Good to see you, sir. Got an acquired taste who says the dangers of squale. Yeah, we'll talk about the dangers of independent watches in a second here. Fears, AC3 has fears. Well, Mikey, I don't know if you saw the show. I don't know if it was like last week or a couple days ago. We had, it was probably on Thursday night. We had Watch Yourself George on the show, and he actually was a former employee of Fears. So pretty cool. He was an AD. Archie was more interested because the guy was, I think, an employee of like Goldsmiths. So Archie was more interested in the AD part of it. But yeah, definitely, he talked about his time at Fears, and, he said he's going to be coming back. So I'm excited for that. We got our first super chat of the night. Thank you so much. Ghetto Matt member for 17 months who says, do it now, big boy. Do it now. Well, Big boy is probably, he's probably pulling his hair out right now trying to figure out this electrical shit. But he says he's going to be here in about 30 minutes. The old Mamacita says Night Diver. We got Esoteric who says Fight Green and his stupid oyster perpetual. There you go. A little nod to a vintage Archie Luxury moment. Rob Filmer, yeah, I know. I was even like, I think he even said, start the show, Fatso. Definitely late, but it is what it is. His brigades are definitely not keeping good time. Nice to see you, Hank. We got Caliber YQG in the chat. Nice to see you, sir. We got Rich Mitch who says it's boring. and then obviously I'll let you guys know about Fatty's problems. Now, Angelic, I'm the one who's sending you the keys, so I'm not the one deleting the keys. So maybe that's Lux. I don't know. I saw your message this morning on the dungeon. Hey, someone took my keys. By the way, I didn't set up that morning stream. Some people thought that was me, but that was actually Eddie who set up that stream for I think it was like 9 a.m. Here on the East Coast, and probably in the evening for the Australian folks. But Eddie had set up that stream because he was gonzoing with his mom or something in downtown Chicago. So I saw Angelic in the chat posting he didn't have keys. I figured, you know what? If someone's going to start the show or help him out, maybe Angelic was looking to do that. So I sent him over the keys. Angelic, I don't know what happened to them afterwards. But yes, we would definitely read that out. Luigi Ruzuto says, welcome to the program. Welcome to the show. For those that remember who used to say that, I say it in honor and memory of the late Andy Hunter Adrikos. He used to start his videos with, welcome to the program, welcome to the show. Very enthusiastic guy, and definitely the OGs will remember that saying. That's why I try to keep it alive. Guess what, the Rock Show. What's up, JDMTL? Nice to see you, man. Second super chat of the day. We got Mark the Shark with thumbs up. Yeah, I was gonna let you guys, I wasn't gonna leave you guys hanging here for 30 minutes. I honestly don't know what's going on with Lux right now, man. I really don't. All I know is Eddie had a pretty cool show this morning. Did some pretty. I stopped in for a little bit, but I was a little busy this morning. But look, I mean, I'm sure Eddie's going to be on after this, and we're going to have more Gonzo Mayhem. Guys, if you haven't checked out the Horology Dungeon channel, Eddie Luxury has just bought a gimbal. He did a show yesterday. Very steady cam, I would say, for his Gonzo stream. So really, really nice. All right, guys, topic of the day, the dangers of collecting independent brands. Thank you so much, Rich Mitch. 2 British pounds. Yes. We're going to be doing some watch talk for you, Rich Mitch. Yes, rest in peace. Doricos. We're getting some fanfare here for Eddie. That Eddie Gonzo stream was great. He took a bus, stopped to get ice cream, did an interview with a guy who he later paid 20. Well, that's not very nice of him for his time, and showed him the bean sculpture. Yes. Look, Eddie's put in the work, guys. I think Eddie is, he's definitely a natural Gonzo. He's good at that. He's personable. He talks to people. Uzi wants him to go a little bit over the edge and start bothering people. I don't think that's Eddie's style, but I don't think Eddie's shy to talk to people. So yeah, man, I think it's gonna be a good recipe for success. And we'll see how it goes on the dungeon, which is all going on after the show, guys. All right, dangers of collecting independent brands. So there's been a real, I would say a huge amount of momentum for independent brands. And when I'm talking about independent brands, I'm not talking about the brand on the screen, Patek Philippe. I'm not talking about other quite established, quote unquote, Audemars Piguet, for example, independent brand. Not really those. We're talking about small manufacturers producing a low quantity of watches. You could say even high dollar value. Think Rechepi, Simon Pret, in certain circumstances with a subscription, companies like that, right? It's getting a lot of fanfare, and I had a really long and good conversation with Kelso in Geneva about this, because he's been bitten. As you guys have seen, Kelso's kind of taken a bit of an extended stay in Europe. He was really bitten by the independent bug, and for those that don't remember, Kelso was actually, before he got into his Patek Philippe's, he was originally looking at a Laurent Ferrier, and I guess going to Geneva and checking all the independent brands, he what he said to me was, it's really that connection that he was seeking with or with the brand itself, that he felt you're just not going to get with a Patek, an AP, and other independents that really are just kind of larger than life, you could say. And so for him, it was really that connection. And I kind of asked him, I said, well, is this really about that? Or, you can't get away from the fact that these are very popular and hyped, because, obviously, auction prices, value, skyrocketing investments, like people are flocking to these independent brands, and, we're seeing these massive gains and massive returns. And I kind of said to him, I said, look, we talk about a byproduct of the current day and age, of, the rising tide floats all boats in a lot of instances. This whole independent craze, in my opinion, started really with the catalyst through FP Journe many years ago. We've speculated, Roy and I talked about this a few shows ago. We speculated, obviously, that there was some maybe potential market manipulation or cornering of the market by certain companies to really buy up a lot of the stock off the market and hype up the brand, and then obviously sell it at a lot higher price. And obviously, FP Journes have look. There's arguments against that because FP Journes have maintained really good value and whatnot. But I think that's really just also a case of the rising tide floats all boats, and it is being masked by that. Where a lot of look, people seek out where watches can make the money. I think every one of us does that. It's not maybe the core reason why you collect, but it is a reason why a lot of people collect. And when you think about buying watches for that reason, you're seeing a lot of these independents that are making crazy money on auctions. Sheppies, selling retail for 100 and some thousand euro, sell for $1 million kind of a thing. Like you're really seeing a lot of craze here for this. But the question is that number one, how long is it going to last? And number two, do I believe that there's any longevity to them? And I would say that that longevity piece is a very key component of your choice in buying these kind of watches. JD MTL, $3 Canadian. Appreciate good watch contact 10. Thanks so much, JD MTL. I appreciate that. No, Archie's going to be on in like 15 minutes. I think he's just having some electrical issues, so I'm just manning the ship for a few minutes. Longevity, right? Like a lot of people ask me, Tan, what's the what independent brand do you feel has the most longevity? I would probably go with like Moser, in my opinion. Probably the brand that has the most longevity. They are set up in a very good. They obviously create and manufacture hairsprings not only for themselves but for other watch brands. They have a pretty diversified setup. So I don't really see that brand going out of business anytime soon. And I think that they have amongst them all probably. I mean, FP Journe with the investment from Chanel probably, but there's a lot of brands out there that, and not only is there a lot of brands, it's becoming increasingly so. And so I feel that yes, some brands have had this meteoric rise in value, but as it gets more saturated, like every single fucking day, there's a new company on monochrome that's released some kind of some kind of a new a new highly finished watch. There's this brand, Kalanick Kleiss, that I was fortunate to see at AHCI. Two guys that used to work at Lange, producing some very, very high quality finishing on their watches. But it's just like every single day there's somebody new, and it's got to stop at some point where there's going to be saturation. We're probably going to have collectors that are going to flock to more safer bets, especially with the economic kind of conditions out there right now. I don't see this lasting. And maybe you don't care about that. Maybe you just care about, hey, I got a nice watch. But we'll get into that in a second. We got a couple super chats here from JD. Well, one super chat from JD MTL, who wants me to say $3 Canadian. Curly is a huge cocksucker. 10. All right, JD MTL expressing his feelings about Curly Q2. Yeah, it's not even hype finishing. It's just you just see so much of it now that it's not as exclusive to Dufour anymore. You're just seeing a sea of these companies, and I just think it's going to be way too saturated. There's going to be way too many of these independents, and that's where if you've invested in a Raoul Pagesh or you've Simon Brett, and then fucking 20 other independents come out in the next 2 years that make them irrelevant, well, what the fuck do you think is going to happen to your value? Like, it's very dangerous right now to buy these pieces, in my opinion, given kind of the current state of the market and where it's going. I think a lot of collectors are going to, in today's day and age, people look at levels. They talk about levels between a brand like Patek Philippe and these independents, right? They consider it, even Kelso said it to me, it's like another level. It's like me going to another level. And JD Hotel, $3. Swallow all that jizz, Curly. He's got the Canadian flag and the red meat. Levels, right? Like you have the whole statement about, well, I'm kind of getting to that next level after buying these Trinity pieces, and I never really looked at it that way because I think independents just serve a different type of the market. Someone who's looking for something maybe handmade, hand finished, but realistically, I think that given once a lot of that investment money really dries up, I think that you're going to see less and less interest in those brands. I think you're going to see collectors at the high end, and collectors at the high end still. There's a lot. I mean, CB he collects independents, but he's a staunch Patek Philippe collector. And I think that guys like him, will probably always watch the brand, and even more so in I think more tumultuous economic times. So there's a lot, there's a lot of good and independent brands if you're seeking, like I said, something handmade, something hand finished, uh, something where a place where you can connect with the watchmaker or the founder of the brand. Yeah, you're getting all that great stuff, and if that's the only reason or the majority reasons of why you're looking to buy that watch, go for it. I called Kelso out like 100%. I said, Kelso's like, Tan, I don't care about the money, I don't care about what other people say. And I called him around. I was like, bro, like, I've seen you on these streams, like, you seek validation, man. You 100% seek validation. And you're not going to tell me that, like, when you buy that fucking Laurent Ferrier, you're going to show it on Archie Luxury and you're going to get roasted, man. You're going to get absolutely roasted. And it's going to sting, and look, like, there's certain people that, like, I'll tell you, like, I'd say the people that always try to say, well, buy what you like, buy what you like, all of them to a certain extent want some sort of validation when it comes to timepieces. And as much as they'll tell you they don't care what other people think, or they buy whatever they want. Like, everybody likes a bit of compliments about their pieces. Everybody wants somebody to like their collection and whatnot. Like, it's I say at the very lowest common denominator, there's going to be a bit of that. It's not going to be the reason why most people or some people buy watches, but it's still going to exist. And for a guy like Kelso, I kind of told him, I'm like, man, like, that's an important part to you, and I think you're just gonna get hurt if you buy into that. Now, look, if you want to buy an Anderson Genève because you want to customize a watch for yourself, hey, man, fill your boots. For me, it's like, I just personally, I would never be able to create a watch myself. Ain't good. I'm not very creative like that, I would say. And I wouldn't be spending 50 grand to do it. And if I'm just kind of getting someone's help or the watchmaker's help, like, I might as well, quote unquote, buy off the rack. Like, what the fuck, right? I mean, I could probably customize a Patek Philippe by putting my hometown on a world time, or a different colored dial, but, like, creating a complete world time, in a certain way that I would get value out of money, it's not for me. Got a couple comments in the chat about the independents. We got MCM, the OGs like Roger Smith, Dufour, Kerry Voutilainen, Epigeorge most likely to be safe. Yeah, I mean, some of them I think will be. I mean, these brands are very well established, right? Roger Smith, very established. Dufour, very established. Voutilainen, very established. And I would agree with Epigeorge, especially with the investment from Chanel. I think those are good choices. I think Moser has a very high likelihood of success as well. And I think MCM, it's more, I mean, all those brands you've listed there are pretty out of reach for most people. And to say, well, I want to get an independence, and it has to go straight to, like, because of that group on this list, minus maybe FP Jordan. I mean, if we were to take the first three, like, Kerry Voutilainen is uh, amazing bang per buck compared to the other two. Yes, and they're still over like $100,000 for them. I was reading the other day about somebody who got an allocation for Roger Smith, and it was like originally like 100 grand for the allocation at the time, and by the time they were ready to give him, get him to buy his watch, to proceed with it, the price had like tripled. It was like $300,000 for the Roger Smith. So a lot of these brands are out of reach for most people. I think an independent brand that's in reach for a lot of people is probably going to be the Moser. Thomas Burnett, I don't think it's a price retention with independents. Like you say, customers want a homemade watch. They connect with Take Shapiro and RGM. Americans want USA made. It's on certain levels, Tom. I would say there's some people. I mean, there wouldn't be a market for this if there weren't some folks that didn't care about that. Or that was the only factor, right? Like, as MCM pointed out, I mean, those brands have existed for quite some time. I think in today's day and age, Tom, there's a lot of speculators, there's a lot of investors playing in that game, and I think that money is gonna, you weren't seeing, like, Tom, to answer your question here, to kind of challenge back, 6-8 years ago, you wouldn't see a Recepi, a brand like a Recepi, for 100 grand, selling for $1 million. You wouldn't see it. And you're seeing it today. And a lot of that, in my opinion, is investors, is speculators, Some people want to buy them because they actually genuinely like watches. I agree, because these brands wouldn't exist if there weren't that clientele. Um, and I think that that's probably the only reason, Tom, I would say that somebody should buy these watches, is you're seeking that out. If you're seeking, it's like the common complaint we hear, Tom, around pre-ceramic Rolex. Well, I hate the tinny clasp, or I hate these bracelets and stuff like that. And I kind of tell people, I'm like, yeah, but like you can't expect a vintage watch to be at the standard or feel like a modern Rolex. You just can't. They're completely different things. Um, so if you can't see the charm in that, or it doesn't bring you nostalgia, it's probably not for you, right? Because yeah, you want something that is what you feel is similar to other pieces you may own, or modern pieces and whatnot. But you don't buy a vintage watch to criticize how shit it is. It's a fucking vintage watch. You're buying it for nostalgia. You're buying it because that that the tinny class and everything, it evokes emotion. um that's real. So yes, I would agree that there are some people that do buy it for this purpose. But I do believe that there's a lot of investors, and like I said, eight years ago, a Rishepi would not trade for $1 million. JDMTL $3. Eddie is a new king and rules Chicago. If I were Curly, I don't really understand why Curly wouldn't just meet up with Eddie and do a Gonzo with Eddie. I think that would be epic content there. JDMTL, and MCM agrees with Moser. We Merkins like Swiss made watches stuff. Yeah, like this is an interesting concept. A lot of the micro brand guys were talking about is like the tariffs and American U.S. Man, I was kind of like, I mean, are people going to buy U.S. made watches? Does that even mean anything? I mean, there's certain historic brands, in the United States, but it hasn't been really around for a while, as prominent in the industry. And yeah, I mean, is that really gonna help anybody? I don't know. Like for me, and look, I mean, Swiss made wasn't always the most popular either in the world. I mean, at one point in time, British watches were considered better than Swiss made watches. Swiss were kind of the cheaper option, you could say. But look, hey, anything can happen, guys. The world is a tumultuous place. We got Washnick Nerd who says, Moser all the way. I'm a big fan of what they're doing. Yeah, that whole Let It Pop thing. I'm gonna pull up Moser's website here. That whole Let It Pop thing was a little, I don't know. Like I love stone dials and I love, um, I get the funky colors. Look, I've always liked what these guys have done. Um, maybe I'm not gonna pick on that one. Let's look at this Endeavor Tourbillon concept, turquoise enamel. Beautiful watch, right? Like beautiful watch. Moser does some pretty cool, especially in their complications. It's a pretty cool perpetual calendar. I like their Pioneer. I always was a fan of the Pioneer. I do like the Streamliner as well. I think it's a bit confusing for a brand this small to have two sport lineups. Um, but hey, I really hope they don't sunset the Pioneer because I kind of liked it. I know that Bayer didn't like the size of the 42. I didn't mind the larger size Pioneer. I have not tried on the Pioneer 40 myself, but Streamliners, big fan of these. I think these are cool. I got to try on my first Streamliner, Watch Time New York last year. That was with a punter named Brody. He had an enamel dial one. Let's see if I can find it. I think it was this one actually. He had Streamliner small seconds, blue enamel. Obviously, it's a render. It's not a great photo, but this is a stunning watch. Got to try it on last year. I told the punters this was my favorite watch of Watch Time New York amongst all the punters. The honorable mention, the number 2 was our boy Biggie Sal, or no Biggie Sal, who brought a rose gold Vacheron 4500 overseas blue dial. Amazing. You see a lot of the steel overseas watches. You don't see a ton of the rose gold ones of that. Watch Talk with Azil. Yeah, man. Electrical issues at the Pluter Mansion. So I said I'd man the petting zoo for about 30 minutes. Crypto Walk, who says, what kind of Patek was just on the screen, guys? I'm going to pull it up for you here. This is a Patek Philippe 6159G. So that's a white gold watch, retrograde perpetual calendar. So this is a really good. It was one of my favorite watches of Watches and Wonders 2025. If you see the predecessor to this watch, Crypto Walk, it's like an old man's watch, officer's case, Roman numerals, in a really, really old looking retrograde. This is a cool looking retrograde perpetual calendar. I think it's a pretty interesting format. It uses the big rotor with a center seconds movement. It's not very common for Patek Philippe perpetual calendars to use the big rotor with the center seconds on it. So I like it. I have my perpetual calendar also has the it would be the predecessor movement of this one. It was the I don't know if this is using the 324. Mine uses the 324. So let's see. No, it's the predecessor. It's the 26330, which is the evolution of the 324. Yeah, so it's small seconds, center seconds, QR retrograde perpetual calendar, 39.5 mils, sapphire crystal case back, and a sapphire crystal with gray metallization and black radiant rim on the dial. Very, very cool. It's a nice looking piece. Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to show you the Patek 5159, just to give you kind of context of its predecessor, because yeah, it was, I mean, this was the watch before it. This is what that watch evolved from, and it's really old manish compared to obviously this one. So 6159 in white gold from Patek Philippe. Poser is the new Parmigiani, but I don't really like Parmigiani that much, man. Clyde really likes Parmigiani. He's always liked Parmigiani. Not really my thing. They make cool watches, sure. I like, if I'm looking at brands that like kind of off the beaten path, I actually really like LEC Chopard. I showed the well, I asked Archie about this, but he didn't fucking get it right yesterday. I think Tom Burnett was pointing it out. I was asking him about the LEC Chopard Quattro Spirit, I believe it was Quattro Spirit 25 with the green dial. New release for Watches and Wiggles 2025. So this is it. I'll pull it up on the screen. LU Chopard with this pretty cool texture green dial. Really, really nice. I thought this was super cool. As you can see here from the movement. If I can pull this up, it's not going to let me blow it up for some reason. Fine, I'll try to zoom in from here. You can see here we do have, okay, so it's in platinum. We have a Geneva seal movement. Geneva seal case, sorry, and a Geneva seal movement here. This is yes, I remember this watch, 4 mainspring barrels. I actually was asked, because I think Higgins is a really big fan of this one. And I was thought, hey, with 4 mainspring barrels, it's going to be thick, but height's only 10.44 millimeters, so not bad. Sorry, wrong watch. Do they have the height on this one? I don't know. That was my only concern, is this watch going to be super thick? But I believe when I looked it up, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, really, really cool watch. Yeah, obviously the Quattro Spirit's not a new watch. They have other versions of it, but I thought this one in the green was really nice. I'm a big fan of the LUC Chopard. I think I like a Chopard. Now, Rich Mitch, you're not going to get any kudos around this fucking place if you buy yourself a Chopard, but you might get a nice watch. So yeah, you gotta look for deals, Rich Mitch. You gotta look for look, if you like watches, if you're a watch collector or watch enthusiast, this is the kind of stuff you should be seeking, off the beaten path, quirky stuff. But that's obviously, it's a solid. Either it's a platinum watch or precious metal watch, great movement. Yeah, it may not have the brand name you want on it, but it's probably still going to be a nice looking piece. I love when you can see the movements on the back. So yeah, most watches these days, Crypto Walk, you can see the movements on. Usually there's open case backs. You get the odd vintage, the odd modern ones that have a solid case back. There's certain Patek Philippe's that have solid case backs. Some of them not for good reason, because their movements are too fucking small, and some of them, and they don't want to show them off. But hey, Patek Chris, one of my big Patek collecting acquaintances, loved a Chopard, especially the Alpine Eagle. Yeah, I don't really like the Alpine Eagle, man. It's their sports lineup. It's not really my thing. It doesn't really look good. Don't like the bracelet. Don't like the case. Never tried one on, and my opinion could be swayed by trying one on, and it would be maybe nice on my wrist, but looking at it, from pictures and stuff, it's not really my cup of tea. Now, look, Patek Chris, I also felt the same way about 2 other watches that I absolutely love. Felt that way about the Royal Oak. Then I saw one on somebody's wrist, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I was wrong. And then the other one was the Reverso. Hated the Reverso in pictures. I had tried on the Monaco, and I somehow, in my mind, square and rectangle are the same fucking thing. The Monaco does not sit well on my wrist. I envy Mr. GMT because that watch looks good on him. This does not look good on me for some fucking reason. But the Reverso does. And I tried on the Reverso at a boutique in like Vegas years ago. And after trying it out, I was like, I need to have this watch. Like, this watch looks really good on me. I'm quite impressed. And I ended up buying the same one that Timely Behavior has, the Reversal Grand 976. Cool watch. It's got a display case back, so that it's got, obviously, when you flip it over, you got the dial, but then you flip it over, you can see the open case back. Really, really nice watch. Bracelet is comfy. All right. Crypto Walk VC Overseas Blue Dial is my goal by next summer. Yeah, look, it's a popular piece. The Overseas 45. And now I think it's the 4520. It used to be the 4500. I'll pull it up here for you, man. So why not? Archie's not here yet. Why not fuck around a little bit? Go to Vacheron. It's funny. I just went into my browser and whatever was in my history, and I'm obviously looking at like the fucking artsy shit from Vacheron. But let's go to the overseas here in the collections. We got the overseas collection, and let's go to the 4500 V or 4520 now. I believe it's the updated version, the 4520. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. I'm going to pull up a rose gold one here for you guys. Yep, 4520V, 60,500 Swiss francs. Now, this is the one I was saying, no biggie Sal. He was wearing, now his might have been the 4500, but, was wearing this watch, blue dial, rose gold, fucking killer. And so I don't know, Crypto Walk, if you're talking about the steel version, also very well loved. Lots of our members of our community have that watch. Love it. Mike the Snakes, it's his Grail watch, the Vacheron Overseas 4500V. But yeah, man, cool watch. Definitely, yeah. Patek Chris, you need a gold watch. Okay, so I'll find you a fucking gold watch. All right. Patek Chris, let me find him a gold. Let's guys, I'm gonna go back to old Patek Philippe. Let's go find and look, we're only gonna go to the grand fucking complication. Now look, I know Patek Chris is a big, he's a big fan of these sport watches, but fuck that. We're gonna go into the let's go find him a real gold fucking watch. Now for me, I'm not Patek Chris level, but for me, 5270 rose gold, fucking solid bracelet. That is to me the gold watch. But all right, I'm gonna skip these chronographs. I don't think that's really up Patek Chris's alley. Now this one's a fan favorite. Thomas Burnett loves this watch. Member of our community, Russell 996 owns this watch. This is beautiful, man. Minute repeater with a Flinke dial. That's guilloche with enamel on top. One of the cool parts about this is the combination of the Breguet hands and the Breguet numerals. Very, I wouldn't say rare, but it's saved for really special Patek Philippe models, you could say. This is a stunning watch. This could be one of them. Really depends. This one for me, I'll say to you, Patek Chris, I'll explain why this is probably a gold watch for me. Is the combination of these complications, minute repeater and world time. Patek Philippe has the patent for this, for the complication of the minute repeater in the world time, and so you're probably not going to see other brands doing the minute repeater world time. And obviously Patek Philippe is very well known for their minute repeaters, for the sound of their minute repeaters. Unfortunately, not in rose gold, which is arguably supposed to have the best sound for a minute repeater. But the fact that it's a pretty unique grand complication by their standards, but complication, I'd say, having that minute repeater in world time is look, it's unique, it's quirky, it's not. I mean, you really need a fucking minute repeater with your world time, but no, hey, I mean, they got the patent. It's to me, that's pretty unique and cool. The Undertaker, $3 Australian, 10 thoughts. Rolex 50515 silver dial Ever Rose. Rolex 50515. Let me get this right. 50515 silver dial Ever Rose. 5015 50515. That's what I'm doing wrong. 515 silver dial Ever Rose. Cellini date Ever Rose silver dial. Okay. All right, let's have a look here for our friend the Undertaker. All right, Cellini. Just, Rolex is interesting because they've tried for so long to get into like the kind of dress watch range. And I mean, look, they have dress watches. They have the date eight. They got the date just. I really didn't understand why they had to go into like dress watches on leather straps because the leather straps aren't really. Does the date eight look good on a leather strap? Not in my opinion, not really. If you're the watch reporter, you think it's the fucking duck's nuts. But for me, president should be on presidential bracelets. Now, looking at this watch, honestly, it's a good looking watch. It's a good looking watch, Undertaker. I don't have too many gripes with the piece itself. I'm not gonna complain about price like Archie does. Um, hey, it's not a bad looking watch at all. Like it's if you like this style as a dress watch, look, it's not at a bad price either. I mean, 11 grand, it's not crazy. But you can get some day dates, 1803s in that range. Obviously, they're gonna have stretch bracelets and shit, but you could still get it in that range. Not a bad looking watch. Not really a watch I would purchase. If I'm look, I buy sport watches from Rolex. I buy dress watches from Patek Philippe. That's pretty much it. I don't like, I don't necessarily, I'm not super interested. I'm not saying I've never bought because you guys all know I bought a Patek Philippe Nautilus, but I stick to the core and the core of that. Like it's like going to, it's like going to a steak joint and ordering, a salad kind of thing or chicken. Like you go there for steak, right? And that's kind of the way I look at dress watches from Rolex when it comes to the ones on leather straps. It's not really my cup of tea. Not where I'm probably going to be spending my money. Other manufacturers, in my opinion, do it better. You could get a Calatrava, for obviously a little bit more money, but you could get a Calatrava here that would probably fit the bill, and in my opinion, would be a little bit more balanced. So nice watch. Not something I would buy. I've got Terry Boston in the chat. Nice to see you, Terry. I think Archie's been trying to get a hold of you, Terry. He had some questions for you about. Well, he wanted to tell you a bit about his experience at Breguet. His experience. Well, a lot of these boutiques he went to in Geneva, and also his Watches and Wonders experience. So, Terry, if you are around, and Archie's having some electrical issues, so I'm just holding down the fort for a few minutes for him. Terry Boston, Archie is broke and unemployed. How the hell can he afford luxury watches by none other than begging people for money? That is true. The e-beggar himself. The ducks nuts. The ants pants. Nice to see you. Easy company in the chat. Easy on deck. Crypto Walk. How often should a timepiece be serviced? If nothing needs repair, how much is a basic service? That's a hard question to answer because all types of watches cost all types of different money for service. Um, Look, do you need to follow the 5-year rule or whatever? Nah, not really. Like often you should really. People say you should service when you see degradation. If it ain't broke, don't fix it type of mentality. I've heard stories of the CEO of Patek Philippe wearing his perpetual calendar for fucking 20 years and never servicing it. There's lots of Rolexes that float around that have questionable service history, have no service history. They're still working. So it depends. It's very contingent on not only I guess how the watch was used, but also the type of watch that you're going to buy and whatnot. But yeah, look, Crypto Walk, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's really the mantra to go with. And look, I've had some broken ass watches. I've had a mainspring break on one of my Panerais. Like you could tell that it's fucking needs some service, man. Or look, if the watch is losing time significantly. There's a lot of ways to look at it, but it's the case. Now, Scott's saying not true. Would you not change the oil in your car? It depends, right? I don't think the analogy is the same because I think the oils, in watches are going to last a lot longer than stated. Whereas oil in your car, you'd probably change. I mean, some people change it every year, right? Some people like Archie change it twice a year. So yes, the answer is you would eventually change it, but really you would start seeing degradation at that time, and that's when you start changing it. Like it would be noticeable. Do you have to change it? Like if you want to change it every 5 years, you can. Probably nothing wrong with it. But I wouldn't say you have to. The bee's knees, man. I'm waiting for old big boy to show up. I'm not trying to run a fucking 3-hour stream for this guy. Yeah, he is slacking today. Well, his electrical's out, so I haven't. Is he fucking sent me a message? Nope. Where the fike are you at? I said out at. There we go. See where the old big boy is. Yeah, so we were checking out Vacherons. I was telling Crypto Walk, I'm usually looking at like their art pieces, the métier d'art. This stuff from Vacheron's really cool. Um, you got this. Obviously, this is the Chinese Zodiac. Year of the Snake watches over here. But they have all kinds of different art pieces. They do these obviously in limited runs. Only a couple, like a handful of watches are available and stuff like that. Different themes, different concepts around it. Just like this one here, the Lion of Darius is from their Civilizations lineup. 42 mils, pink gold. I think this was like 4 of these were made. I'm not 100% sure. It commemorates Persian culture, ancient Persian culture. Pretty cool piece, man. I do really dig. Let's make this a bit bigger. Yeah, like this is it's just the art that they do is really really nice at Vacheron. It's a brand that I think doesn't have a lot of identity right now. They do have some cool pieces. I mean, the 222, the Overseas, 1921 Historiques. There's a lot of really really nice pieces from Vacheron, but I just don't think they have a lot of identity right now. I just don't think it's identifiable like that. Sorry, Archie. I guess I missed one of your super chats. Archie, $5. Hey, Tan, love the watch talk. You think you would ever have an all Patek collection? I don't think so, Archie. Look, as much as I talk about Patek Philippe, and I named my I guess my YouTube name after Patek Philippe. I do like Rolex. I'm wearing a Rolex right now. I'm wearing an Explorer 40. So watch I like to wear when I live stream. It's very comfortable on the wrist. It's a Rolex, a nice honest tool watch. Look, I like a lot of Rolexes. I like Seikos actually. I have Seikos as well. For those that don't know, certain brands that I think I'll always have in the collection are probably those 3: Patek Philippe, Rolex, and Seiko. Kind of a wide spectrum, but 3 brands that I really enjoy. For those that know me, I used to collect vintage Seiko divers. I had an original 62 Moss. I had an original Willard. I do still have an OG Turtle 6306. So I really enjoyed collecting vintage Seiko. It's where I started kind of vintage collecting before I really dove into like vintage Rolex collecting when I got my like 1680 red sub and stuff. So, I'd always recommend folks, if you want to dive into vintage, especially when we talk about vintage, most people just say vintage Rolex. But if you want to dive into like, let's say vintage Rolex, I would always start with Seiko because you're not gonna lose your shirt if you make a mistake, and you're gonna learn a lot about what to look for in vintage. Now there are differences between vintage Seiko collecting and vintage Rolex collecting in terms of what's acceptable and what's not. Like in the vintage Rolex world, having a relumed dial is it's gonna really kill the value. In terms of Seikos, yeah, if you have an all original dial that's in perfect condition, sure, it's gonna command the most premium, but oftentimes Seiko collectors don't want what's called like a wabi dial, like the loom is really degraded. Though that old Seiko loom is like turns like green and then eventually goes black. They call it wabi on the dial, and yeah, you just don't want that. So restoring it actually could probably increase the value of it. Similar to like kind of cars, where in cars, if you have an all original and pristine condition, obviously it's going to command the premium. But in other cases, if you have an all original, car with all original paint, but it's all fucked, you may want to restore it. You probably get more value in certain cases when it comes to that in cars. So you see that more in vintage Seiko. You don't see that in vintage Rolex. If you adulter anywhere on that fucking dial, and in the case, for example, mostly in the dial, yeah, you're gonna absolutely destroy the value here. All right, we got the king of the show. He's on the panel, Archie Luxury, taking himself off stage. I'm adding him on stage. Archie, I'm dropping off here now. I'm fucking tired.
Yeah, independence. Hey, Tan, love the watch talk. You think you would ever,
Your audio's
ever?
Your audio's fucked. Yeah, man, fuck the Leafs. Now you're
The
muted.
Leafs. How's that? How's
Now
that?
you're good. Now you're good. Now you're good. All right, I'm dropping off. You take over the show. See ya.
Thank you so much. See ya. See ya later, alligator. It's alligators, guys. Alligators. Let's get the guys on the show now. Come on, guys. Jump on. Let's get them on. This is where we need you is now. We've had some minor electrical problems here. Little bit noisy. It's a little bit noisy, but that's okay because we can work through it all. We can work through the issues. That's right. We can work through everything on this channel. We can definitely do it. You know that? We can definitely absolutely beautiful. So nice, man. I got to tell you, it is amazing. It's good. Tan covered for me. He's a good man. The guy is good. Let's get Goldberg on. Goldberg sent me some beautiful pictures of Breguets. Elgins. Let's get those babies on the stream now. Let's get them up. The Elgins. What else can I tell you is happening? Doing some repairs at home. We got some stuff that's happening. It's all good, but the important thing is it is all very, very good there. Very, very good indeed. Let's see how Sugar. I got Goldberg. I sent him an invite. Kessler, he's away. Clive, let's see if we can get Clive on here. Clive loves to come on and talk independence. I'd love to get some independent talk happening there. Jamie Opulence, he's a different time zone. We got that guy, Machine Gun Chris. See if we can get him up there. Who else have I got? What's happening to Bear? I haven't heard from Bear in ages. Have not heard from Bear in ages. No. Nothing was heard. The Bear Clooney watchers, Bear Clooney. We love the Clooney, the Bear Clooney, the Clooney Bear. Man, I got to tell you something. I love a good wristwatch. I love them. I think they're beautiful. I love the watches. Let's have a look and see what else. We've got someone jumping on now. We got, of course, the Goldberg.
Mr. Chesterfield.
How are you? I'm wearing my Pam today.
Is that painful?
Pam.
Much better.
What are you wearing today?
Today I'm wearing an Omega Seaman Master. The Seaman
Beautiful watch.
Omega. The current retail price on this sucker is up to $6,500 US. Gotta hit the cough button, boys. Just saves you from the frummy mess. Oh, what's going on over there with Archie? Delivery? Is it delivery or is it DiGiorno? Well, anyway, I paid $2,800 from this. I got the friends and family discount from Uncle Bill, a buddy of mine. He bought it at the Navy PX some years ago. But I just looked on the website over there at Omega, and it's $6,500, and that's before tariffs have hit. So those things.
Hello, Mr. Goldberg. What's happening with you? What is happening?
Well, everything is good. Wearing my Omega. Speaking of Omega, I'm sure that's why Patel says I should get Maddie Stevens on, but Maddie is impossible.
Maddie. What's happened to Maddie Stevens?
He got a real job.
Oh, you're joking. I'm so sorry to hear that.
I know, but actually,
What
I think
happened?
he's happy. I think he's content. He's happy.
Has he got a lady friend?
He does he has a similar predilection to you. Just
I know, but he's actually a good looking guy.
Yeah.
He was married to a Vietnamese. Then he lived in China. The thing I love about him is he went to China. To
make his fortune as a filmmaker.
Did he?
That's what he does. That's what he did. Yeah.
It didn't work out, I take it.
Well, he's back in the U.S. Back in the USSR. Anyway, great guy. I really like him a lot. He's doing well. He's famous, of course, for having lost an Omega in the ocean. A rogue wave broke the spring bar and took it out to sea.
Oh, you're joking, aren't you?
Coincidentally, it was insured.
Okay.
Just saying. It was. I mean, who insures one? Yeah, of course Matt would, because Matt's like real anal.
He is so. Has he still got his Mercedes Benz?
Oh, I think he traded one because he bought it, worked on restoring it, and discovered that he found the seats uncomfortable. And he complains about his back quite a bit. So
he does like complaining. I will agree with you there. He does. He is everything. He had a beautiful woman. Like I've got Mrs. Lai. He had Mrs. Whatever.
Mrs. Stevens.
And she would have done anything for him, and she did, but it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough.
It was never good enough. Not much is good enough for Matty Stevens. Although, actually, Austin Stevens was. Matt.
That's not his real name, is it? Matty Stevens.
Matt. Yeah. Well, I let's not dox him.
No.
But anyway,
he was in that. Yeah. Go on.
Austin Daniels. Matt Stevens and Austin Daniels had a bromance, and they had that famous trip to Bangkok.
Yeah, Austin Daniels wiped me off. That when he realized he wasn't making any money out of me. He does not want to help me.
He couldn't steal the leads.
Why is that so? Why are people so?
I don't know if that's accurate.
Competitive.
Is he? I don't. Are we? I don't.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. I'm telling you, I wouldn't have mentioned it if it wasn't true.
Well,
I got to catch up. I got a super chat here from Patel Philippe. $2. What are the dangers of collecting indies? Well, the dangers are when you need to cash out, you're fucked. You're fucked. Nobody wants it. That's the dangers. The dangers are pretty obvious. You won't be able to cash up. Cash app. Nobody wants it. It's unsellable.
Toxic sludge? Would you go so far as to say toxic sludge? Even though some of them,
because it's got a small market. Like the problem with these independents is they often have a smaller echelon of customer. If you think Breguet, to them Breguet is mainstream. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I would like to respond real quick to Mike the Mistake, who told me to hit the gym to fill out these sleeves. He has a good point. This shirt is huge on me, but it is because I was getting to be a fat fuck. And,
so it's better to have it. If you're training dogs, you want something comfortable and.
Well, my large size T-shirts I was starting to get bitch tits in them, so this is an extra large. Then I went on a diet and I lost some weight, so now I'm swimming in the extra large. You just can't win no matter what you do. Here we are. Anyway, where were we before we were interrupted? Here's your next Patel Philippe super chat. Read it.
Patel Philippe, $2. Mark, why does Bruce Williams not like Arch? Yes.
Well, Bruce Williams just does not like Australians. That's what it is. I'm sure it's just because you're Australian.
I've never spoken to him.
Actually, I don't think Bruce Williams doesn't like you. I don't think.
Yeah, I've never really had much to do with him.
He's a good guy, and he's a friend of mine, and I don't think he has any problems with the Arch. In fact, I think I conned him into appearing on this stream once a few years back.
Thank you.
And it might have been a little wild for him. He's a pretty, he has a very clean sort of, demeanor and reputation. So this might have been a little wild for him, but he did come on. I remember now. He did. So no problem.
Yes. No, that's exactly it there.
It is it. It is indeed it. So Mike the Mistake is congratulating me on being thinner. I was just getting fat. It was just, I mean, how many of you guys out there in the in Peanut Land like yourselves naked? Like, do you avert your eyes when you get near a mirror naked?
Well, I got to be honest with you. It's funny you say that because I actually think you need to be pretty happy with your body. I mean, you think about your body, it lets you walk, it lets you do so many things.
We should take care of it.
And we should appreciate what we've got. Let's be honest there. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Tell you what, ask Blue Shirt Buddha. Take care of your body. I mean, he was a fit. Blue Shirt was a fit, healthy guy who was struck down in the prime of life in an unfair way by the big C, which is really sad. But I'm sure if he could talk to us from that horological cloud up in the sky, he would tell us two things: take care of yourselves, be healthy, and don't sell Rolex. Never sell Rolex. I think that would be the message that I get from my Ouija board. But anyway, I was getting to be a fat fucker. I just and I realized I'm pushing. Well, let's not say what I'm pushing, but I'm pushing age here right now. I'm pushing age. I am not getting any younger. I am, as we say in Yiddish, an alter kacker, an old fucker. I'm definitely not getting any younger. And if I am to have any semblance of a decent body, it is now or never, because I'm reaching the top of the roller coaster, the point where you can work out and get good results and, look decent without your clothes on. And then I'm going to hit that. And then there was going to be a couple of loop-de-loops, and then it's going to be. So I figure it's time, it's time. I got to take this now. Well, I can. Now, whether Archie has just given up or whether he appreciates his body and the condition that it's in, that I couldn't tell you. But I do know he sent me a bunch of pictures. He sent me spank bank material when he was in his 20s. He was a handsome lad. He was a good-looking boy. But what happens, guys, is when you give up and you start to get fleshy, it becomes almost impossible to turn it around. And I'm going to tell you how I did it. It's been pretty easy. I've done just two things, just two little changes, and they both helped. One, I have been eating almost every meal from a restaurant or from a delivery bag, for years. Because the Satan's Kitten prefers to eat everything from Potbellies. What are some of his other favorites? Panera, Potbellies, Culver's, Portillo's, just all junk. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm not going to. So,
anyhow, I got to tell you, Marky, the thing you got to realize. Cooking.
That's what I did, Archie. I lost weight, but just started making food at home. I stopped eating out. I started cooking at home. That's what
it's actually the condiments that makes a lot of people fat. You know what I mean?
Only if you eat tubs of mayonnaise at a time. But in general,
we got another super chat here. Patel Philippe, $5. Was he on before or after AC3 offered him $500 for the Air King? And now I actually offered him $1,500 US.
He not only did that Air King, he set it on the roof of his car and then drove away. But then I'm pretty sure when he realized, oh shit, what happened? He backed the car up. He ran it over.
Was it really a stunt or what? Was it a stunt for you?
Oh no, it was. Let me tell you what. I know him. He is embarrassed by the episode. He is, because he got on the air. Showed pictures.
I'll be honest with you. You've actually lent your gold sub to people to film.
I lent it to him, and you know what?
I would never ever lend anything to anybody. You want to look at it, you come to my place and film it.
Bruce Williams wore my gold sub before I did, and here's the funny story. He sent me a picture of the FedEx package in which I sent him that gold sub on top of his car. Somewhere I'll have that. He sent me a picture. And I was like, oh, God first. Don't try. That's not funny.
Yes.
But anyway, he's a little embarrassed by that episode, but he's a very humble guy, and he knows it was funny, which is why he sent me a picture of my gold sub on top of his car.
Oh, yeah. I see. Yeah. How do you so I offered him decent money, and he never came back to. I don't understand why he didn't. What went wrong?
I don't know what he did with that watch. Like
he used me as a pricing point. I was the first decent. I offered him $1,500 US.
I think he didn't solicit a sale from you. You just offered it up because it was all over the internet and it was a hot topic. I don't know. You know what he probably did is he probably paid $2,000 in service and just had it rebuilt by the Rolex service center. That's my best guess.
Because I wouldn't want it after that accident, would you?
Well, they will rebuild it. They're going to have to give you a new crystal, a new case. They're just going to basically rebuild it from the ground up. I insure not all of my watches, but I insure some of them. And you know what? My insurance covers like theft, mysterious disappearance, and damage. But I haven't really read the policy well enough to know, what does damage mean? Like, if I nick it, I'm sure that's not, covered. But if I run it over, maybe that is.
Run it over. Very.
Well, I'd rather not, but it's been done before. But I've always wanted to shoot a Rolex. If someone will send me a proper Rolex and allow me to shoot it, I will send it back.
Yes. I see what you're saying, Marky.
And I use a 22. It might not even get full penetration. Sorry about the term. The term might upset some of these guys, but I don't really know if I'll get full case penetration with a 22 on a Rolex. Can 904L steel stop, a 22 long? I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Yes. No, it's absolutely amazing stuff. Tell me this, Marky. I've got to be totally honest with you there. The economy is so fucked at the moment. It is so tough.
Are you referring to Australia, America?
Just everything in general. What's happening with dog training? Is the business down, or you're still?
We've been kind of steady, but
you're happy to take a break. You've been.
It's just starting to slow down a little right now, and I don't know. Here's my best guess: the stock market is like this, and there are an awful lot of people who have like their 401k, which is our superannuation, our retirement accounts in the stock market. People look at that stuff, and if it's doing good, they feel good. They spend money, even though they're not spending it from there. And if it's up and down, maybe they quit spending money. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or if they get worried about their job, really, it's very hard for me to say. But I've got dogs in the kennel right now, more coming. If it slows down, I will happily take a vacation. Happy to do it.
I'm just living in my kennel. I'm just moving my kennel.
You should look at this. Do you see this? Do you know what this is?
Oh, what's that? That's dog chew. Licorice?
It's not dog chew. It is chocolate surrounding candied orange peel. That's candied orange peel in there.
You like
dark
it?
chocolate. Oh my God, it's delicious. Yeah, fuck.
Can't be that good with chocolate surrounding it.
Oh my God, are you kidding? Look, we have this candy maker in Chicago called Fannie Mae. Very famous.
Oh, Fannie Mae.
Fannie Mae.
Isn't that the one who also does home loans, Fannie Mac?
No, that's Fannie. That's Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, but Mae is spelled differently.
They do the home loan business, don't they?
That is true. Well,
they can fatten you up and sell you up.
I think that, I don't know exactly what they are. I think there's some kind of like federally backed institution that governs and insures mortgage loans. You guys are fucked on mortgage loans because you have no fixed 30-year fixed loans.
No, we don't. We don't have that thing.
Yeah, you have 5-year renewable variable rates, so you never know.
Well, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and 5 year.
What's current? What's current? What's the current rate?
It's about 6%.
Yeah, it's a little worse here, but before I paid off my place, I was locked in at like 2.9, under 3.
Some people, they'll never sell it. Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Did you get it out okay?
Oh, girl,
Get it out.
Was it hard? Get it out. Get it out. It's hard. Sounds like date night.
I love it. Marky, let me just tell you, it's life isn't always easy,
It is not. Now, you're living in your childhood home. You were raised in that house. Why is there a mortgage on it, given that you've been there your whole life?
Well, for starters, I did not inherit the house. I had to buy the house.
Yeah, but couldn't your dad have taken back? Couldn't your dad have taken back a mortgage and earned interest that way?
No, he wanted the money. He needed the money for his next house.
Okay, fair.
And you don't want to get into debt owing to family members. That's nothing worse.
You know what? My dad tried to sell me his house when years ago when he was moving, and I was a young Turk. I didn't even have a house. I was renting.
Yeah.
And he said, "You don't need any money down. I'll just write you a mortgage, and you just you'll pay me your monthly mortgage rate." He didn't need the money to put down into the next one. He had already bought it. But I was 23 years old, and it was like an acre of land. It was hours of gardening every week just to keep the place from overgrowing. I was like, no, I do not want to be doing snow and lawn removal.
You don't want to be indebted to family, but Dave Ramsey says when you owe family and they come over and they say, "Oh, you bought a new car." Well, you could have reduced the loan a bit by that.
Now, all of a sudden, you're going to start cherry picking Dave Ramsey advice, who, by the way, says debt is bad. Pay off all debt, including home equity, no consumer debt, home equity, pay it all off. Now you're going to cherry pick Dave Ramsey, Mr. HELOC.
I think the use of some credit can be very good. I mean, look, let's face it, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
If we were wealthy enough, you'd pay cash for everything. I get it, right?
Yeah, well, why don't we?
But because
why don't we?
My Breguet collection is what happens with the HELOC. Good HELOC.
How is your Breguet collection been good for your business? Let's count the ways. But first, let's look at super chats. Oh, wait, there aren't any. So tell me how it's been good, this consumer debt. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
That's painful, Marky.
I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah, no, look, it's given me freedoms that I wouldn't have normally.
Yes, freedoms to pay other people all your money. I mean, how much better would you be? I mean, well, how much are you paying on that HELOC monthly? Or are you deferring payments? What's the monthly bite? Oh, wait.
It's a lot of money, Mark.
No, but what if you weren't paying it?
What if you sold better?
Yeah. So what if you sold the Breguets, paid off the HELOC, or as much of it as you could?
Yeah, I can do that.
I would. You have a Patek World Time and a Bluesy. I mean, those two alone make you a serious collector. Just those two.
I like filling the box, but you understand? I like filling it.
I know.
I just paid $1,000 Aussie
Yeah.
for an expensive box.
Sell the boxes. Hold on. Sell the boxes and buy one Louis Vuitton box for 3 watches. And he's gone. Are you with me, guys? What do you think? Dave Ramsey says, buy the dip now. Yeah. Well, he doesn't say buy the dip, if I can paraphrase him. He says dollar cost average, whether it's high or it's low.
1 minute, Mark. Just 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
I'm waiting. You hurry back, darling. Yeah. So Dave Ramsey, he's not the most sophisticated advisor in the world, but he has practical advice that won't hurt anybody and can only help the vast majority of people who don't listen to him. He's got 7 baby steps. If you would like to know more about just like how to sort of get control of your own finances, and I'm not here to proselytize for the guy, but he's broken it down into stuff that's so step-by-step easy to do. Just Google Dave Ramsey baby steps. And I think there's 7 of them, 6 or 7. And you just do them in order. And then step 7 is start giving away wealth because you'll have some to share. Anyway. Those of you who are hitting on the log drainer, get the fuck out. What if I care if you're here or you're not here? Go away. Go. I don't know. I feel like it would be he would just feel sad and pathetic if he fills the empty spaces with G-Shocks. But my idea for Archie is he gets a nice box with 3 slots in it. Just 3 slots.
I got that. That's called a travel roll, Marky. I got that as well.
Yeah, but no, you need a really nice one, like a Louis Vuitton one.
I got one.
With 3 slots only.
Yeah, I got that. Marky.
Well, let's look at that box, because what I think we should do is calculate what goes in it, and everything else sells.
You know what the danger is with these fucking boxes, but you know what the danger is, don't you?
You keep buying more, and then you fill them.
Yeah, fucking hell, Mark. It's like
It's like a gaping empty void that is your soul that you are trying to fill with watches and pens.
oh, Marky, you're getting too philosophical now. Slow down.
I'm very sorry.
Okay, I found the pic. Let me pull it up for you.
Let's have a look. Ooh.
LV roll as requested, Marky.
Well, see, but that's a roll, not a box. But it's very nice. But
With
as a
3, there you
roll-
go. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, but it's a travel.
I love
it's a
buying
travel-
stuff. Consumerism, Marky. I loved consumerism. Okay.
I got you. I'm with you. But let me.
I wanted to drive a black Buick. I looked up to men who drove black Buicks,
like my pop-up.
and they said, "Buy, young man, buy."
Now I have a question. Does Louis
I
Vuitton
just
make
got
a
some
hard?
ink. Ink came in, a parcel of ink. You know, ink.
Does
In my robbery, I had some inks that were stolen. This is the.
Can you load that ink into a tattoo gun? Look, tell me this: does Louis Vuitton make a hard-sided box for 3 watches?
No, they only do 8.
Fine. Then get rid of every box except for this one right here, which is your travel roll.
Travel roll, and
Yep,
that's enough.
then,
3 breguets.
well-
That's it.
hold on. What I want to know is you may keep 3 watches and they're going to go in this thing. Not 4, not 1 on the wrist, 3. What 3 are you going to put in this travel roll and everything else sells?
See, Marky, I really do enjoy those 3 breguets. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand, but you and
Because
the
I'm
kids
a breguet man, okay?
Well, fine. Well, then,
When they say breguet man, breguet is with plural, right?
then you will sell.
Do you
everything.
understand? If I get rid of it,
Will you sell
right,
the Patek?
I'm
Sell
no
the Patek?
longer a
Sell the
breguet
Patek?
man. I'll show you
Sell-
another pic,
sell the
okay? You may
Patek?
not. I think you may be not seeing it correctly because
I am.
I've got the strap on, the NATO one there. So let's just pull up this here. That's with the leather.
Mhm.
Breguet man. He's a breguet man. You know what that
He's a
means?
I
Don't
do.
you?
I do know.
Do you know what a breguet man is?
Yeah, cripplingly debt. In a breguet man is crippled by debt. Yes, I know exactly.
I'll show you what a breguet man is not, okay?
Solvent. Oh, Simon.
Yes.
You know what,
Yes,
though?
yes,
I got to tell you,
I miss him. You know that? I honestly miss him.
it is.
Is
a
it
shame.
okay
Yeah.
to love an extremist even though you find his
Yeah.
reviews repulsive?
Well, I kind of do. So yeah, I think so. But like, could
Is
you
it
have one-
okay or not?
Yeah, I think it's okay. But I got to tell you, there is one impressive thing about that. One
By the way,
surprisingly-
Louis does have. I want to show you something. You asked me about Louis Vuitton rolls
Yeah.
and boxes, right?
box for 3.
They do have. This is actually it's not. This is. I don't think we're going the right way, but
No,
this is
we
1,
are-
2, 3,
we're
4.
not going-
That's a box
No,
for
no, no, no.
16 of the bastards. What do you think of that? Are we going the wrong way, Mark? Are
Yeah.
we?
Yes, we are.
Are we going the wrong way?
We are 100% going the wrong way. You need to stop.
Look at
right
that. And they can even paint birds on it. Lorikeets, Australia.
Now,
Look at that.
now. What do you think of the fact that that's probably made in China and then sent to Italy for just like the rivets? Ooh, what do we got there? Okay, listen. Okay, so I have a quick call I have to make to my sister. I'm gonna let you go, but I will be back. But sadly,
Marky, I love you. Marky, I love you.
You
know that?
But I will come back.
Please
And-
give my regards to your sister. She's a lovely lady.
Yes.
Tell her you want to be a breguet man, okay? You got to
She
be a
already think-
breguet.
She thinks I'm insane for all these watches. She thinks it's.
Could I
crazy.
just show you one thing before you go? Can I just show you one thing very quickly? Just very quickly. I've
Hit me.
worked at, you asked me, what 3 pieces would you keep? I've already got the photo done. I found it for you. And here it is on the screen. Boom.
Yeah, that
It's a
is the
sports
collection.
chronograph, gold, 2-tone bluesy, and a world. You know what? Everything else is unnecessary.
When I come back, we are going to
Maybe-
price out
Maybe
everything.
one steel on the wrist.
No, 3. When I come back, we're going to price out what we get for the rest of it. Be back soon.
Thank you, Marky. Hey guys, this is the Archie Luxury channel and you are live. Guys, I just had a delivery. I got some ink. Pilot. This is actually my favorite Japanese inks. I love the Japanese inks. They are incredible. Incredible. Yeah. So, where were we? What were we discussing? Well, I can tell you this now, guys. It is very important. The 3-piece. What's happening in your world? Is economy going tough? Look, it's hard for everybody. It's hard, okay? It's very hard. Mr. GMT, he sold off. What did he do? He sold off his box, LV box. He just said, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Okay, I can't afford it. I cannot afford it. Therefore, she who must be obeyed must be sold. Do you see what I'm saying? You cannot just keep everything, okay? And I got to be totally honest with you here. Let's have a look. Look at this beautiful. Look at that. That was a collection. Fuck. That was you know what? I tried to replicate that. You know, I honestly, I remember when I had this shit, I was so happy in my life. Fulfilled. We got a super chat here. Super chat Phoenician C to $5. Mark, why didn't you tell us you played Dr. King Schultz? Archie, please pull up images. Where did he send me these images? Let me have a look. Where's the images? Dr. Schultz. Where is the images? I'm just having a look here. The images. Where are the images? I'm just having a look. Just on my feed. Look what just came up there. Jaeger LeCoultre. Take a look at that. That's a Jaeger LeCoultre. It just came up on my 3-piece meal deal feed. Exquisite Jaeger LeCoultre World Time Tourbillon. Look at that. My God, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Doc BBW joins me. Hey, Doc, how are you?
I'm good, Pontiff. How are you?
Hey, man, I got to tell you something. We were talking about watches and that there. Are you going to do some downsizing? Any downsizing happening with you?
Actually, some of the downsizing is mental because I was offered a gold Daytona for 180 grand. And I actually thought, let me try it. But no, I'm not going to try it. It's just a little too much, a little too rich for my blood.
Look at this photo. Why wasn't I happy when I had that? Why wasn't I happy? What's wrong with me?
Well, I mean,
you're talking about hypergamy. Hypergamy. Women always want to marry up, don't they?
Absolutely. It's survival of species to an extent. You know, you want to have strong offspring, etc. So they want to marry up in terms of not only men who are stronger, but also smarter, but also more resourceful and therefore wealthier. Survival.
Is wealthy important to you?
To me, or
yes.
to women?
To you, wealthy.
I've never been presented with the opportunity. So
what if you had a choice of brains, wealth, or good looks? Which one would you take?
That's
So
like
the reverse side
like
is does that mean if you choose one, you're going to be super ugly?
that's like the Cage on Star Trek, where he was offered 3 different women. One is smart, one is gorgeous, physical beauty.
Which
Wow,
one did
that
he
is
take? Which
interesting.
one did he take?
He ended up escaping and then came back to his ship. So they never actually had him choose. That was Captain Pike, the precursor to Captain Kirk. You know, that's an interesting dilemma, because you know how some people will say, I'd much rather have a pretty face than a gorgeous body, right? You know how guys are always presented with that.
I know.
I actually found out through my personal experience, I think
It's not true.
I like the gorgeous body. I did not know that about myself, but anyway, the point is, these choices, you think you know, you're gonna choose, you're gonna say something like brains because that sounds more generous, you know. That sounds like a better answer. But in real life, all bets are off. You don't know what you're gonna choose until you're forced to. And it's not like when I chose body that the woman had had an awful face. It's just it wasn't gorgeous face. And then I had the opportunity to choose the gorgeous face or the but the gorgeous body or the. Anyway, these things.
I'm just trying to work out how is he. Hey, so where am I
Look what
supposed to
this
pull up
guy is
these
saying.
images
Oops,
from?
I
He
pulled
says,
up the
pull up.
wrong one. Never mind.
Where am I supposed to find these images? I don't understand what he's saying because I can't see any image. What are you talking about?
Who are you talking about? Who's pulling up
The
images?
last super chat, he says,
And then I
Arch
screwed it up.
Google image. Arch Google image. He wants me to do a Google image. I don't
Is it a
understand.
watch? Hopefully it's a watch. Because I mean, it's a watch channel.
Dr. King Schultz. Okay, Dr. King SCH. Sure. Oh, he's a movie character. Oh, okay. I never really heard I saw a movie
So
the other
somebody is
day.
saying, I think they're saying that Mark looks like this guy. That's what I'm assuming.
Oh, I see.
I'm assuming this based on, otherwise the whole thing doesn't really make much sense. And we all know Phoenician cedar almost always makes sense. So I'm thinking it's because this character looks like Mark Goldberg. I've never heard of him though.
No.
Does it look like him?
I'm trying to find it. 1 minute.
Oh, maybe I'll Google it and see if I can paste it into the. Oh, I know. I'm supposed to Google it and put it into WhatsApp. Let's see if I can find it. Shouldn't be that hard.
Here we go. Found it. Here we go.
That's a very strange name, so there can't be too many of them.
Does he look like Mark? Does that guy look like Mark? Have a look at that.
In some of the smaller pictures, absolutely. He might have a little bit more hair, but yeah, I can see that. He's younger, I think, but even then, it's a small picture, so I can't really tell. Plus, it's the movies, and so they use a lot of makeup and stuff, makeup tricks and stuff.
Yeah, why didn't you get fucked? Fuck, you fucking cunt. You vile. By the way, there was a bit of a flare up.
It sounded like you were screaming at Uzi, but how the heck are you screaming at Uzi? He's not even on the channel.
Sorry? Tan wants me to play it. Patel Philippe. Some of the clip in WhatsApp lets me know the goss. Here we go. Let's get it going. They want to know the goss. See, this is what happens. You know, they want to know. Okay, let's have a look here. Let's have a look and see what Doc thinks, because you're pretty sane.
I mean, just a 2-hour show. Just if I can stop the
We
ball.
can't do that just yet.
Yeah, why didn't you get fucked? Fucked, you fucking cunt. You vile cunt.
Well,
You
I hope
didn't
you
answer
don't
my
pay.
call when
Disgusting.
Sirocco died. You fucking coward.
You left your
fucking
son
coward.
out. You left your son on your own. You left his
Yeah,
fucking
you know
wife.
what,
and child.
Mark?
Get
You
the
can
fuck
go
out of
fuck
here.
yourself, you fucking cunt.
Ban me.
You
Ban me.
fucking cunts.
Ban me.
As
I
for
haven't
you,
started yet.
plastic, go fuck yourself. How's the penis pill business? You fucking jealous, fucking vile cunt. Because you sold all your investment properties off,
Yeah,
you're a negative fucking cunt. What a fucking vile fucking cunt you are, plastic. Fucking
Yes.
vile. You're a jealous fucking cunt. How's that psychopath going out with your mum, you fucking cunt?
Oh
And
shit!
as for you, Narc, you piece of fucking shit. You're a fucking asshole. Why don't you show your face, you ugly wog?
It's already been established on my asshole. Arch, are you gonna pay Eddie? Are you gonna pay Eddie?
Look at this. It got nasty there, Doc. They're just, I tell you, sometimes,
If
Doc.
I didn't know better,
you know,
I'd say you lost your temper.
This business, Doc, sometimes there are just some ugly people in the Archieverse.
You know,
Ugly, like
I've
I
gone
was
on the
saying to
I've gone
you.
on the channel a few times, and it's always been fun.
That's because
kinda
you're
surprised.
so positive and nice.
Well,
you know?
actually, now I take that back. I was on the show. I was having fun, but everybody else was pissed, and there was a lot of doxing going on. So, it gets out of hand a little bit.
Doxing's never good, Doc.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
And,
But it was an entertaining show, though. So apparently, it's available to high-level members only.
they're a bunch of fucking assholes at times. You know, they just attack. I don't know, Doc. It's just disappointing. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I understand. I see.
Life's not easy, Doc.
No, but if it were, it would be boring. You know, I mean, there are a lot of people for whom life is extremely easy, and they're bored to shit. They don't know what to do with their lives. You know,
Yeah.
so perhaps we're blessed that life is not easy after all. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Doc. You know, Doc, America, I'll be honest with you. I don't like fucking losing money, Doc. Okay?
A lot of people don't like losing money. A lot
I
of
mean,
people.
I'm not fucking happy, okay? I don't like losing money, okay?
That's why politics is so crazy right now, is because people are losing their money on so many different fronts. There's a lot of bureaucrats out there losing money right now. They're losing their minds as well. But we're not supposed to talk politics, so we'll just stick with people hate losing money. Generally true statement. Now, the interesting thing, though, is that when there's inflation, people don't seem to notice as much, for the most part, because they're losing money left and right, but they don't really notice. So, you know, Rolex watch prices, are they really going up, or is inflation bringing the dollars down? Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question.
So when
Doc.
I think about how I've been approached to resell some of my Daytona as an example.
Who's approached you to resell them?
Oh, the original jewelers, I guess they'd be called jewelers, the original dealers that I purchased them from.
But wouldn't you have
Some
to
of
put
them-
yours into an exclusive auction?
No. They just want to buy it back. They say, "Oh, any
Well,
interest in
Doc,
selling
wouldn't
it
you
back?"
be better off putting your sort of stuff you'd put into an auction, wouldn't you?
If I needed to sell it, I mean, I don't really want to sell anything that I have.
They're not going to give you the best prices, Doc, are they?
No, that would be a move of desperation. Although it's nice to know I would make a tidy little profit on it, even if I was desperate. That's nice to know, because a lot of the guys seem to be, not pointing any fingers, but a lot of the guys seem to be all about, I've got access to the ADs. I can get this watch that's instantly worth 10 grand more when I sell it, and blah, blah, blah. In a way, I'm glad I don't have that concern, because I never got any new Rolex, so I never got any favors from the ADs.
Do you regret that you never got favors from the ADs?
I used to, especially when I wanted to get, a Sky Dweller, and I thought, man, how? And everybody was saying, oh, if you do this and you do that and you kiss up this way, you kiss up that way, I bet you can get a Sky Dweller from the AD. And I'm like, you know what? I think I have enough watches. Like, if I get a Sky Dweller, am I really going to wear that more? I'm blessed. So, like, I have that
I want to ask you something. Hypergamy, right?
Or hypergamy, sure.
Look at this. Look at this. What this collection here? Why the fuck wasn't that enough?
Well, I seem to remember you saying you were going to sell your bluesy, and part of this collection involves a bluesy. Is that a bluesy there?
That was a pre-ceramic bluesy, Doc. Remember I
So you now have a ceramic bluesy that you're talking about selling right after you sell your World Time.
But that's not because the watch sucks. I'm just trying to.
I think that you should do it in a different order to see, do you really need to sell the heavy hitter, I mean, you might be able to get by just selling the JLC, and then you say, you know what? I can make do. I got the JLC money, and maybe that's enough for now. That kind of thought,
Yes. I understand, Doc. You know what the problem is, but we never have. What do you think of that collection? Is that perfect? Is that enough? Look at that.
I think it's
3
nice.
Rolex Explorer. These were all pre-ceramic vintage. So we got the Daytona, we got the Sub Explorer, a Zenith, 2 Pateks, a JLC. Look at that. It was just such a.
I think you could be happy with that, and I actually kind of like that Daytona. I don't have any of the modern Daytonas. I don't have anything past first generation, but I would consider getting that.
It is a cool Daytona, isn't it?
Yeah. And because you wore it, so you know what it felt like and everything else.
Oh, it was super cool.
Do we have a super chat?
Super chat. Patel Philippe. Is the Oyster Date still the Rolex of choice in Brisbane? I don't know. I love an Oyster Date, Doc.
Are you sneaking time on the treadmill right now?
I'm just doing something quickly.
I'm
trying to put some furniture back because it irritates me. It's not. I'm trying to plug something in because I can't move something if it's.
Well, I think that I'm torn. I'm torn as to whether you should actually look at this photograph as often as you do. I think it's better to move forward than to look back, especially.
Sometimes it's good to look at the past to have an insight future.
Yeah, but it's sort of like, there's something about there's something about looking at the car just before it crashed and reminiscing and looking at the car just before it crashed. I think it's better just to move on in that kind of circumstance because it was rather traumatic.
You had that problem with your Mustang, didn't you?
Oh yes. I have photographs where I was rebuilding the engine and I didn't even remember taking pictures of myself doing it, but I guess I did just to document what was happening. And yeah, it's kind of painful. Kind of painful.
Yeah.
I swapped out the automatic transmission for an original 4-speed, which took me a little bit of time and energy. Also painful. Because I drove it for about 5 years with a original 4-speed in it. So all that's kind of painful to think about. But you know, when you have a knucklehead nephew, you have a knucklehead nephew. What are you going to do?
Yes.
And of course,
Yeah.
I was a knucklehead for letting anybody else ever drive my car. So now I have a perfect excuse to say, get the fuck out of my car. You're not driving it. Get out. Which I've had to do, by the way. Which I've had to do.
Yes. Would you let me drive your car?
I'm afraid I have to say sorry, no. I have a rule. No one else drives.
How do you handle it when it's getting serviced at the shop and that?
Well, obviously they're driving it in and out of the bay and there's not much I can do about that. And, you know, I had a Corvette where when I took it to the shop, the guy smashed it. So it can happen.
How badly?
Badly enough, it was totaled.
What did he say after he did that? Oh, fuck.
Basically. He didn't even alert me because he was kind of a... He was a pitiful character. He was a great mechanic, but he didn't have insurance for some circumstance. Something went down where his business was going down. So he didn't renew insurance. So he didn't have insurance. So when he did it, he just kept it a secret. And my wife at the time, she saw the car at the shop and didn't tell me. Instead, she said, you need to go look at it. You need to go look at it. And when I finally looked at it, boy, what a shock. I think we got a super chat or two.
Yes, we do, sir. We've got a couple super chats in there. Let's get these babies on the screen. We've got Patel Philippe, $2. Show me a Reverso Squadra you like. Actually, it's funny he says that because the Squadra itself, so it was a square Reverso, hence the name Squadra. And I never really liked them.
Yeah, it just doesn't, it seems like stunted or something. I don't know what to say.
But I must say, I've gone into chunky fucking monkeys. I like chunky monkeys now, okay?
Yeah, you got that Panerai now.
So what I'm saying is, I actually, Doc, what I really like is this one here is nice. Look at this. It's in Hong Kong, 11.5, and it's in rose gold. Look at this, Doc. Doc, look at this. It's I like the black strap. Look at the beautiful movement.
It's just
look at the case. Knurling. You know what? Tan Zeal, this beautiful buckle. This could actually be my perfect Reverso, actually, Tan. There you go. A Squadra. I could gladly rock that fucker.
Would you buy one? Yes. Or are you saying if someone gave you one?
No, I would buy one. That's how oh, I didn't pull it up properly. So apologies.
Oh, look who's
sorry.
back.
Apologies.
What was his name?
Marky,
Dr. something? What was his name?
Dr.
Here we go. Sorry, here we go. This is the watch. I pulled up the wrong one. Just let me pull it up for you. This is the one I would get. So look at this. Black leather strap, alligator, white dial, Art Deco numerals. Okay, rose gold. It's not expensive. It's actually pretty well a bargain. Look at this.
That's beautiful.
Automatic movement. knurling on the case of the Reverso there. Look at that.
That's perlage, not knurling. It's perlage. How much is this? This is beautiful.
11,000.
It's a little
It's in
square,
Hong Kong.
though.
I
But
might
Doc,
get Mrs.
look at
Light
the
to
Art
buy it for me.
Deco.
No, but
Look at
well,
Art
it breaks
Deco.
all the rules. It's square and it's automatic. I've always said Reverso should be manual wind. But you know what? Fuck it. I actually like this. This is actually
Beautiful.
pretty damn nice. Okay.
I'd feel cheated.
Do you?
I'd feel cheated that it's not rectangular.
It's so much. What a
I
bargain.
lost a little real estate when they made it square.
Yeah, but it'll present wider, won't it?
You know, I'm assuming it's the same width as a standard Reverso. I'm just assuming that they reduced the length. I never thought
I would
about they might have
gladly take
enlarged
this.
it.
I would gladly have this as my Reverso. Now, next thing is Scratchy $2. How much
it
is
wear-
Eddie getting this month? Don't lie. Well, you know what?
Archie,
You know
not
what? Let's go,
Scratchy.
let's go and take a look at the formula. I'll take a look. I'm going
Scratchy
to pull
luxury.
Scratchy. It says
I'm gonna
starchy
pull
in
up
plain English.
I guess let's open up my Excel sheet.
Isn't there a Scratchy
Okay.
on The Simpsons?
The
There you
itchy
go.
and
I'll
scratchy
show you exactly what Eddie's
Scratchy.
payment is. Here we go. There we go.
Zero.
So Eddie got 2 payments.
0.
Okay, Eddie got 2 payments. Okay, this is the
Zero.
formula.
That's
Okay,
2
let's
payments
have a
more
look
than
at
he
it.
had before.
So basically, okay, I've just printed this out. So the formula is
Is Eddie paying
he
taxes?
does all the shows he does. So the first payment I made for him. Okay, so each show, let's take a look at this. So one show here got in $106 Aussie.
Mhm.
I lose 30% to Google. Then the subtotal is the net is that figure. Now
Are you
Eddie was
subtracting
getting
for your? Wait, are you subtracting from Eddie for your tax exposure because you owe taxes on the entire?
No.
106?
stop.
No, he's
stop.
just talking about
Stop.
Google's
Stop.
grabbing.
Stop.
YouTube
This is
snatches
Google's
30.
third. No, income tax is based on it doesn't come out of Eddie. Eddie pays his own tax.
Yes, but you owe
Okay.
taxes on the subtotal of 7420 because that's
Okay,
what
no,
you
no,
received.
I don't. Stop. My dad was an accountant. Let me explain it to you. We haven't even entered into taxes. Taxes is nothing to do with this.
My dad was a surgeon, but I don't take out brains.
Okay, look at this. $106 for the
Was your
show.
dad really a locksmith surgeon?
Exactly.
Let's have a look at this. 30. I take 30% off. That leaves us 74. Now, before Eddie was actually getting 40% of the remainder. Okay. If you look at the formula, it's 40%.
But there's a problem.
Then what happened is, so he got a payment of $493.92 Australian.
I have a
Okay, that's
question.
This is all in Aussie dollars because that's how I get paid. Then, so he's received one payment of $493. Then he got a payment. Now he gets 50%. Okay, 50% of the leftover. Okay. So his last payment, I paid him yesterday.
Are you as confused as I am, Mark?
No, I understand where he's. I know exactly where he's going, but the pontiff has failed to consider something very important. Can we look at just one show? Highlight one show. Pick one.
Sorry.
Pick a show. Any
Pick a show. Highlight it. Highlight the whole line. On just
Okay.
one
Here
single
we go.
show.
Here's a show here. We can highlight that one there.
Okay.
Okay.
Now let's take a look at this. The gross in Australian dollars was $415. Google deducted 30%, which was $124.50, and sent you the remainder, $290.50. Is that correct?
I'm not with you. So say that again.
Oh dear God. Let's try this again.
Yeah.
That show grossed $415 in super
Yes.
chat. Google deducted their 30%, which was $124.50, leaving a remainder payable to you of $290.50.
Correct.
Did they send you that money?
They haven't sent it to me yet.
But they will, yes?
Next month.
And will they? I know they will. They will report to the Australian government that your
Oh,
income.
that doesn't matter because I can show that I've paid Eddie a certain amount of money, and that becomes a deductible.
So are you sending Eddie tax forms?
Eddie, I'm not responsible for Eddie's income.
No, you're not. But in the United States, we call it a 1099, which is where you declare to your tax government that you have overhead and you paid this person overhead, but it means that they've got to pay taxes on their amount. So
in Australia, they do pinky swear. They don't have a 1099.
No, actually, what I do is
Honestly, they don't. They just pinky swear and they're done.
If you're not gonna let me talk, it's no point. So basically, if he was Australian, I'd be responsible for taking out the taxes that he's liable for and remitting it to the government, right? But he's not Australian, so I give him the whole amount, and it's him. He decides what he does with it. Okay.
Nice. All right, guys.
But as far as my taxes go, I definitely would be showing the taxes that I have paid a certain amount of money because I need that deductible. Okay.
Now,
but
Doc,
what I'm trying to say is he has been paid for shows that I haven't been paid yet. I basically advanced him the money because he's new. I want to keep him going. So basically, he's been paid up till yesterday.
I understand. I would just like to point
every show he has been paid, even if it only generated $2. He has been paid. So every show is, as long as it gets one super chat.
And I have one other point that I want to tell you about Archie, and then
he's been paid so far. To answer Scratchy's question, he has received 2 payments so far. He got a payment yesterday of $2,089.50 Australian.
Yeah.
And he got $493.92 Australian. That was a couple of weeks ago.
Archie, do you want to hear something vicious, vinyl, and nasty?
Go on.
If you report somebody anonymously to the IRS for tax fraud and they collect, they will pay you a reward of 15 to 30% of what they collected. I'm just saying. Okay, moving along. Who's Dr. King Schultz? I don't know who is that? I
just put it in the private chat, Mark.
Is that the guy from
Venetian thinks you look like this actor? I would say it's probably a compliment.
Wait, is that from Django Unchained?
I don't know what it's from.
Yeah. It's Django. He's a great actor, that guy.
I don't know. But I put him. I didn't know you knew him already, so I put him on the
great actor.
Put him in the private chat there for you.
I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up now. Here we go. Mark
He's a
looks
great
a lot
actor.
like him.
He won Best Supporting Actor. He won Best Supporting Actor.
Same sort of.
You need to enlarge it, otherwise it's hard to tell.
I think similar nose. You got a similar nose, Mark.
He has a more impressive beard and mustachio.
Your mustache is getting there, and if you just let it go a little bit more, it might get some of that.
I gotta trim it, otherwise it's gonna get like full and impressive.
I can't stand having a bushy beard. I like mine groomed.
Nice and groomed. I'm with you on that one. I use a beard trimmer. I just set it to number 10 and then I go bzz, bzz, bzz.
That's what I do. I don't know about
Patel Philippe, $2. Best watch for an accountant. My dad actually wears a Datejust steel 36. It's a 16234. There you go. 16.
Wait, did you say a steel? Datejust.
Starchy Luxury, $2. Say my name correctly, you slob. I'm a paying customer. Starchy Luxury. There we go. There we go. Done. By the way, Mark, we were talking
Luxury,
3 pieces.
Though. That's a nice one for someone out there.
I want to bring this up, Marky, because you were talking.
We're going down to 3. I like that.
Seriously, I honestly, with the Breguets, isn't that all you would ever need? What do you think?
You need the Patek. Get rid of that. No. You had the Patek, you had the Bluesy, and then there was something else as your final 3. What was it?
I had the World Time. I'll bring it up now for you.
Yeah,
okay?
the Type 20. That was your 3.
He used to have a Reverso in there too.
Here we go.
It's an unkind cut.
No, this is 3 pieces. That's 3 pieces. That's all you need. Look at that.
That's all you need.
Rose gold, two-tone with yellow and white gold. That's all you need. That's what Marky's saying.
Everything else must go. Everything. That's all you're keeping. That's it. Everything else goes.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, if you liquidate everything else, can you pay off that HELOC?
I don't, Marky, sometimes it's good to have a bit of loan there,
It's
you
just
know?
an academic question. I'm not asking you if you want to do it. I'm
Then
just saying if
why were you going to sell your world time if you're not trying to
He's not.
get rid of your HELOC?
Look,
I might be getting divorced soon anyhow, Mark, so I don't want to reduce my debts.
Well, your debt has gone all into personal property that's documented on YouTube. I'm pretty sure.
And the divorce is sort of a looming threat that exists all times.
And the watch, exactly. And the watches are community property, at least in America. Like, it's not like they're yours.
I'm happy to split. I'm happy to say, right, boom, 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 boom. I got my
Especially
eye on
if she doesn't know about them.
No, I honestly, I wouldn't cheat her. I'll be honest with you. I'm happy to just move on. I'm considering moving out next week, actually.
Where are you moving?
When would you like me to move? Can you super chat me when you'd like me to move?
Super chat Archie $250 so he can move into a nearby storage use.
I thought you moved out last week, but I don't know. I get confused.
Well, you were going to rent an office, or were you moving to Shenzhen? The kids are grown now. What's the plan?
I'm looking at moving out, Doc.
Yeah, but where to?
Japan.
I'm put it this way. I'm still looking at the best options for me, best financial options.
Yeah, it's
you can stream from anywhere. Like, do you need to be in Australia?
I don't need anything. Here we go. Patel Philippe, $2. Thoughts on the VC6405 YouTube channel?
Wow.
Jeez, I haven't
They
seen
made
that
a
in
YouTube
ages.
channel for that.
I haven't. I think I ran some experiments. I was just testing. I had a testing. I got this guy finds everything. You know that this guy. You cannot have a personal life, can you? Hey.
No.
He's resourceful.
I mean, this guy just finds.
He likes to keep his finger on the pulse.
Fucking hell! I can't even remember this channel. Fucking hell! You know this. This is just a dormant channel. I don't even remember.
So this is your channel.
Yeah, it is my channel.
Well, let's have a look. Come on, isn't there a video or two we can sample?
Here we go. I'm just embarrassed, Marky. I'm embarrassed. It's like
That's all right.
when every fucking time I come on here and you fucking guys mention luxury to or collecting Louis Vuitton, and you go through the reviews. You know, do you think sometimes you could build me up a bit instead of pulling me down?
Hey, listen,
instead of tearing me to shreds. Okay, I did it. I'm one take. I did it as a test to see if I could do it right.
It's still there on Amazon, and you still get $10 per sale. So when we promote luxury to last,
minus the returns, Marky.
it's an electronic document.
So it seems like you abandoned this about 14 years ago.
Can we watch one?
Marky, it's just boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's okay. Listen, for every minute that we watch that video,
I'm
it's
embarrassed.
A minute less work.
Here we go.
Let's see.
Hey, you. Do you want to know Webjet's best kept travel
When I
secrets
logged in
that
without
will have you
premium.
saving money on your
I
trip?
get it.
If you book your flights with Web...
Hello, and thank you for watching this video presented by the Society for Thin Dress Watchers.
This is the only thing thin about.
I want to talk about
It's the only thing thin about you.
watch.
This is the
Well,
whispering.
Thin dress
Thank
watch
you,
is
Mark.
a watch that you can wear for formal
Thank you,
occasions.
Mark.
Traditionally
Soft-spoken, Archie.
a dress watch should be made
Well, he
of
was taking his
precious
medication
metal,
during the filming of
i.e.
this video.
gold, whether it's white gold, yellow gold, or rose gold, or for really luxurious pieces, platinum. A dress watch itself should be also a very simple watch. Discretion is the key with a dress watch. A good dress watch should not
Yeah, I'm
be blingy.
embarrassed. Can we turn
It
this
should be
garbage
very,
off,
very
please?
No.
God, that is thin, though.
The dress watch itself ideally should be able to
the
be
strap
worn
is thicker
with
than the
French
watch.
cuffs. So it needs to be thin.
Part of
Archie's
it's an
accent
optical
is
illusion,
thicker
of
than
course.
that. Well, Archie's waistline is. Whenever.
Hence the reason
Oh, the
for
watch
having a dress
disappeared.
watch under 40 mils. Now, when I say that size there, that is actually a measurement from one side of the face
Herman's
to
here.
the other side,
That's Mikey.
excluding the
Mark.
crown or the
Mikey.
winding mechanism.
Mike.
A
Mark.
good dress watch also should not
Mark,
have heaps
Mark,
of
Mark.
functions like chronograph functions or other
Oh, now you guys
unnecessary
become a
dials
Muppet.
on the watch.
Hey,
A good
Mike.
dress watch itself should be
Hi,
discreet
Archie.
and should lack visible bling such as diamonds.
There we go.
I just got done from a wonderful spring day drive
And your
out
banana?
in my banana. Yeah.
Banana.
And
I still think we need a better name for it than that.
yeah, I know. I'm gonna get a better name, but man, it is just so much fun. I've always had crazy cars, and this one's crazy. And but I went and took it to a town down the road about 15 miles and showed it to my friend who wanted to see it, and then just drove it back. I revved it up a couple times, but for the most part, it was just a leisurely drive. But that's the cool thing about it. It's registered, and I can leisurely drive it, or I can drive it to the racetrack and go tear it up all day and drive it home. That's
So you're slip sliding in the banana.
Yep. Anyways, it takes me back to when I was a kid. My friend who lived near me, he had a guy that lived with him, older guy, older than us, and he had a Austin Healey Bug Eye Sprite,
I remember those.
and
Mike, does your plate say Chingao?
no, I had plates that said Chingao on a motorcycle once though.
Maybe it can say banana gal.
Or blueberry or something. But anyways, he used to let us sit two behind the only two seats, and we'd ride four and drive this back country roads in his little
Country
Austin
road.
Healey. And so this kind of took me back to that.
Take me home.
Just driving for the enjoyment, even as brutal and crazy as it might be. That little car is skitsy, man. It literally is like a go-kart, and you got to
Kind of looks like an oversized go-kart.
We got a super chat. Super chat's come in.
Super chat.
Patel Philippe, $5. You never let me into the society, Fatso. I will torment you with these videos until the end of
You know what?
time.
I think Patel Philippe really wanted to be a member of the thin dress watch society. Member number 2.
John C, $2. Arch, I'm worried Mike the Snake bought a fake Rolex. That's okay.
It's got box of papers, right, Mikey?
I got box and papers and the yellow plastic tag that everybody keeps asking
Mikey,
me
did you
about.
put a UV light on the crystal and find the crown at 6 o'clock?
I didn't, but I bought it
very
from
small.
I bought it from a reputable source, and they've been there for 35 years, family-owned business. It's a coin shop that deals in gold and rare coins and bills and things like that. But they always also have 5 or 6 nice watches in their case.
Okay,
And,
so that's not a pawn shop then.
no, it is in no way remotely a pawn shop. In the
that
other
was
half,
the rumor. That was the rumor.
and that was what they were trying to spruik last night, and I kept denying it and denying it and denying it, and they kept saying, "You bought it at a pawn shop. You bought it at a pawn shop." No,
What if you did? A
What's
pawn
wrong with
shop's
a
a-
pawn shop?
Well,
Yeah,
if
really.
you buy it at a pawn shop,
shops
you're running
anyhow.
a risk.
I would buy it at a pawn shop, no problem, no worry. It's all about the price and the originality.
Well, the only thing is, if you buy it from a pawn shop, it's more critical to take it to a trusted
Yeah,
watchmaker to have
if
a
I
look
bought
at.
from a pawn shop, I would have had, made them allow me to take it to my jeweler and confirm its authenticity and make sure it's not stolen, and then take it back and buy it, or have them go with me to my jeweler, whatever it takes. But in this case, I bought it from a completely reputable business. It's been around for like 30 years. They're a really big business. They're a locksmith. They sell giant safes in another area of the store. They
But
have-
Mark's an expert. He's got a couple of Seikos. He's an expert in everything, you know.
Wait. Mike, did you buy it?
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Pawn
Here we
shop,
go.
Mike. You know it's a pawn shop.
Leave
Don't lie.
$5. AC3. What are your favorite 3 Archie Luxury videos? Best of Archie Luxury was my favorite channel. I think this channel was that one. I think this channel was that one before. Yes, it was before I pivoted. That's right. You know, honestly, my favorite videos, you know, I think that Uwe did the best clips. Uwe. You remember Uwe did the best clips?
did some fantastic clips.
Yeah, he had the best clips.
Clive is licking his lips with the flies. You know what I mean?
Although I have to admit, I like a lot of what Gunzap was doing.
Guys, if one of you would see fit to donate $50 or $100, I would really like to do the go scream.
Oh, geez.
I think I've got the best one in me ever, but we need like a 50 or 100. We need one of those red super chats to make it work.
Give me notice.
Yeah, because you got the ears on, and we've only got a few minutes left. I know it's unlikely, but you know, if someone wants to scream, we're ready to rock on this end.
Yeah.
Well,
by the
it's
way,
later-
Marky, I
later
got to
than I
tell you,
thought.
Doc, now that we've got a panel here, I have really fallen in love
Uh-oh.
Well,
with
that's pretty.
this watch.
Oh.
I actually,
The Squadra, huh?
yeah, it's a Squadra Rose Gold.
Those
think
are
this is-
automatics.
Yeah.
Look at Mike knowing.
Yeah.
Mikey.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
not-
kind of
I'm not
thick.
feeling the Squatra. The Squatra just doesn't do it for me.
You know what? I really love that extra hour hand, the AM PM indicator. I think that's fucking cool. But I especially love the Art Deco sort of vibe of the whole thing, the case and the numerals.
But you should be able
And I
to
love
get
the
that
fact
in
if I
a
buy
normal
this,
case.
Tan will hate it. Everyone will hate me even more. Which is
Is that
exactly
because
what
it's
I wanna
automatic?
get.
Like, what's the problem with it? Like, why?
They just
probably
they-
it's a Squadra. I think Squadra might be like the outlier line of the Reverso lineup.
I'm not feeling this whole thing, this whole Reverso Squale thing. I just don't want it. I just don't feel like I want it. I'd rather just have a standard Reverso. I don't need a Reverso Squale.
The standard
I just
Reverso is
don't.
very boring, Doc. The standard Reverso is boring.
This is not boring?
No, this is cool. It's got functionality. It's got a complication.
It's an automatic.
So are the Reversos if you wish to get one with
I love an
complication.
automatic, guys. Like, you don't have to remember to wind the damn thing. Plus, I'm old enough to remember automatics where if you overwound them, you snapped the mainspring and broke it. You had to be so careful with those.
I never wind my watch completely.
Well, see, that's because you're old like me and you're afraid.
Well,
I am afraid, especially
even
if
though,
I
you know, they
snap
have
it, there's no replacing it.
Well, I think they have, like, the modern ones have what, I don't know what it's called, but like limited slip differential. You know,
yeah,
so-
they got a slipper clutch.
Yeah, they have like a clutch mechanism, but the older ones, you don't. When you have vintage watches, it's hard to keep track of which one you can do damage to and which one you can't.
I see.
So I just
I
always.
you must admit this is actually. I've
I only
fucking
wear one
fallen
watch
in
too.
love with it. I love it. I love this. And the thing is, you can buy them cheap.
Let's make an offer for like $8,000.
I don't have any money at the moment. I'm completely fucking skint.
Can I have a JG LeCoutre Reverso Squale, please?
DJ LeCoupe. Now, what could you get if you liquidated the pens?
Doc, I love it. I love
How much
it.
money?
I love
How
it.
much money? How much money do you have in pens?
I will say this: I like the
They're not
symmetry.
liquid, Mark. It's not liquid. The market has turned nasty.
I like the symmetry by having the date at 3 and then having AM PM at 9, and
Yeah,
that does
look at-
introduce some symmetry to the watch, and I do appreciate that.
Oh, this is nasty. Super chat.
Oh, gee.
He wasn't filming. That's just ridiculous. Come on, guys. That's just ridiculous.
He was gonzoing, and there happened to be kids running around at the time or something.
Yeah. People just take things so they're just nasty. Eddie's just trying to make a buck. Little Dave, $2. Mike the Snake. Did your travel? It doesn't make sense. Did your travels far to buy the watch? No, that was local, wasn't it, Mike? The pawn shop was local, wasn't it, Mike?
Oh, you know what? I think
Not a
Mike's
bullshit.
on mute,
Oh, Mikey.
but he gave me permission, so I can step
Yes,
in
it's
if I
local.
have
It's
to.
in his town. It's close.
It was really nearby.
Nice.
Patel Philippe, $5. AC3, why didn't you believe your squeeze told Easy that she liked him more than you? Scroll up to Easy Company's comments too. I can't. I'm only on the paid comments here.
There it is.
He knows everything.
Patel asked Fat Boy why he doesn't believe what I said. Obviously, he couldn't hear her when she said that's why she said it. Not hard to well, she did. For number one, she didn't speak a word of English and she was Japanese. So how could she have even said that? Actually, she did actually tell me later on who is this loser we are hanging around with, but
Did she say that in Japanese?
she in translate because she talked to me in line the messenger.
Yes,
line.
I know the line is the favorite.
Yeah,
The
I
favorite
don't know why
cat of
they
Tom.
like Line so much, but oh well.
Because it's invented. It's Japanese. That's why it's a Japanese app. That's
Doc,
why.
Doc, how about that sound? Line. Line.
Lie.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Now, Doc, have you been to Asia? Did you actually go hunt these women in their natural environment?
When I did the hunting, it was not in their natural environment, but I have been to Japan. Lovely place.
Yeah, but you don't like it's more like Vietnam for you, I'm thinking.
No, there might have been a little PTSD with Vietnam, but with Tokyo, the thing I was most impressed about was how nice and clean and safe it was for their biggest city. In fact, they had juveniles. I'm gonna guess they were on the order of 10 years old, in their school outfits, running around as late as 11 o'clock at night on a Friday night, and nobody was concerned about it being unsafe whatsoever.
Super chat. We missed this one. Super chat.
We got a super chat. It's
we
got a
showing.
super chat. Phoenician Cedar, $2. Mike the Snake, found your perfect watch. MP45 C50. Look carefully. What's he talking
Maybe
about?
there's a snake on the dial.
C3PO.
I'm not sure. I got
wonder
no
if there's
idea.
any watch with a snake on the dial. Probably
Let's
is.
have a look. Let's
Probably
have a look.
somewhere
what is
out
this
there
thing
is a
called?
watch with a snake on the dial.
one of those sex dials, Doc.
Yeah, well.
M.
Yeah, I guess that counts.
I saw the funniest video. It was some kid in Thailand goofing with these girls, and he pulled he opened his zipper and took his thing out, but it was a catfish. He had put a catfish down there, and it was alive, and it slipped through his fingers and flew at the girls, and they just took off screaming. It was the funniest TikTok.
Look carefully. I don't understand this. It's a vertex. What is that? What is that? I don't understand it. What is he saying here? I don't understand.
Probably a snake somewhere on the dial. But you got to get close enough to see it.
Oh, it's a Caterham watch. That's what it is. It's a Caterham watch. I'll pull it up. I got a full big screen, a big photo of it.
Every time I see Mark's avatar, it looks like one of those little dogs has a binky in its mouth.
He's got a ball in his mouth. They're chasing a ball.
I know, but it looks like a binky.
Binky.
There you go. Have a look at that.
Official
It says
Caterham
Caterham.
brand. I love it.
Yeah. It's got your
This-
name on
this-
it, Mike.
Yeah, and in fact,
It's probably
since-
quartz.
oh, I hope not. But I'm a bracelet guy because
It's
I can-
fuck! It's expensive.
Oh, I was gonna think it was quartz and it was gonna be cheap, but I guess I'm wrong.
actually, no. This one, I wish I could see the dial.
At least the tax is included.
Okay. I like it. I love it.
The pricey bitch.
Does it say anything about the movement anywhere?
Archie's gonna need to scroll the thing down to find out, I think.
Is any mention on the movement?
Having a look.
Bueller.
Fuck, God damn it, Doc! I was yawning.
Technical detail. Oh, it uses a Salita movement.
You almost
Salita.
What happened, Mark?
You almost killed Mark, man.
Exactly. I started laughing on it. I was yawning, and then you said Bueller, and I started to yawn and choke at the same time.
You almost killed our friend, dude.
It uses Salita.
Salita movement? Okay. That's acceptable.
A lot of money for a Salita movement.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Have you heard of
Nothing
Vertex?
new there.
Vertex. What sort of brand is that?
Exactly. That's what I
never heard
I
of
do
it.
like the vintage strap. So maybe
Yeah.
That's $20 on Amazon. That strap.
I know. Actually, 10 on eBay.
There you go.
But the funny thing is, I'm such a bracelet guy. Everybody knows that, right? But if I get a watch for driving or a racing style watch, it'll be on leather because I'm not going to be I'll be getting sweaty, but it won't be getting soaking wet. Anywhere, anytime. It won't be used in that type of environment. It'll be used while I'm driving. So I get a nice leather bracelet or some styly bracelet.
I think the vintage strap is all you really need, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure about the watch.
I agree. I like the strap. I can't see the dial well enough to like if there's something special on it.
I think it's just because of your car.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, it does make me kind of want one. Just the same as like I really kind of want to get a if not the Ducati themed, at least Ducati colored, like the I think what is it? Doesn't Tudor make a Ducati themed watch, and
Yes.
another brand makes a watch with the same color combo, but it's not themed Ducati. It's just the colorized the same, and I forget the name of that brand, but they're both midland range price wise and of good quality. It's kind of a hard choice between the two, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I want to get a watch for each of my vehicles. Now that would mean I'd need to get a Squadra for my Nissan Cube, wouldn't it, Archie?
Squally.
Exactly.
You mean you would want to get a JLC Reverso Squale, or is that what you mean?
Exactly. Yes. I didn't know that was a bad word, but anyways,
It's okay. Nothing's
Everybody
a bad word.
everybody likes different things. The only square watch that I would come close to wanting would be the Cubitus right now.
Monaco for me, for sure.
Monaco is super cool, and it has the same movement as the Caterham watch. Look at that.
I found it a little too big for my wrist. I think you need to have more, at least a 7.5-inch wrist for it to work well.
Okay, 7 is perfect for me.
Oh yeah, it would work for you for sure.
Yeah,
It's because it's a fairly chunky watch, and it has no curve. It's just perfectly flat.
And the Cubitus, I can't discount because it like right now I have mixed feelings kind of about it. I kind of like it, and I kind of don't.
I would say for all of those who are listening and they're haters of the Cubitus, you need to see it in person to appreciate it.
Yeah, like I'm holding out until I actually.
Well, remember what Terry Stern said. It's not for you fuckers, and you're never gonna see one.
Well, you can see it if you go to the right AD. You can
There
at
you
least see it. So I saw it. I thought it was a pretty nice looking watch, to be honest.
Yeah, I like the look of it, but I won't be invited to buy one.
I had my good friend AJ with me,
AJ.
and he also thought it was a great looking watch.
Now there are a couple other cool square watches. There's the Reverso.
Squadra.
Squadre.
Squally. Squally.
What other square watches? Well, I mean, me on towards the dress end of things, of course, there's Patek and the Cellini and stuff like that. But
Sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No worries, man. I fucking run on every time, so
I just
interrupted. Will
on my tech, I can't see anything of what's going on. So I want to know what Phoenician Cedar put after Doc. Mark, maybe you can help us out.
Phoenician Cedar.
I just posted it. He put a comment that says Doc, and then there's
I see that, but I don't see.
There's characters that come out as squares for me.
Oh, that's just that's the laughing emojis. Your favorite.
Oh, it's laughing. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, the laughing emojis.
I wanted to make
I
sure.
know you can't see it. Yes,
Marky, I want to show you my favorite free piece. This
Not
was
on my old iPhone.
Oh, Doc.
This is my favorite three-piece collection. Look at that.
Oh.
Day-date Rolex. Breguet, that's actually a traditional, it's an automatic. And a manual wind Patek chronograph. What do you think? Is that a perfect three? Yellow, rose, white.
Yeah, no, it's nice. Really nice.
Covers all the bases.
There's only one of those watches that you'd want to go swimming in.
I used to think my favorite would be the 5170p. But then I actually saw one. No, I don't think so.
I got to tell you.
I understand what you were saying about it.
How's that for a three-piece combo? Look at that. 3 chronographs.
Yeah, no.
Nope. Got to enjoy the Speedmaster. I enjoy my Speedy a lot.
How about these three-piece?
Doc, there's my Panda. That's the one I have, Doc.
I want to see this brand new Panda. I still haven't been able to find one.
I like the brand new one. I like that.
You saw it?
By the way, that's CB's collection. That's CB's.
Well, that's nice. Look at that meteorite. Ooh.
He's got some crazy interesting watches.
Yeah, the Speedy doesn't really belong in that picture, but okay.
That's a 321.
Yeah, nonetheless.
It's history, Mark. It's history.
Yeah. I don't like a Speedy. They leave me cold.
I like my 2998 more, but that's just me.
Pre-moon?
Yes.
Because it never happened.
I like yeah, but not just that. I like the hands because the
Doc,
stick hands are nice, but
I have a question for you, Doc. Aren't
here
we go.
Here we go. Exactly. Here we go.
Technically, aren't all Speedmasters pre-moon?
Technically, all watches in the world are pre-moon. That's right.
Yeah. Even the current manufacturer, right?
I kind of like that, Mark. So I will acknowledge that you were the first to point that out, but I'm going to say that to people.
Thank you.
From this point forward.
Now, has any interesting information been released on the Kennedy assassination that we didn't know prior? Because I know he released a lot, and also on the RFK.
Well, it was expanded. Like a lot of people didn't know that a few weeks before there was almost an identical version in Chicago.
Version of what? What do you mean?
Of the assassination.
The RFK?
It got of JFK assassination. They even had a patsy that looked an awful lot like Oswald. It's too strange to be a coincidence to me.
So they just couldn't decide Chicago or Dallas.
Well, they were trying Chicago. I don't remember exactly how it went in terms of the White House getting tipped off.
He campaigned right here in Elgin, in my little town.
They canceled the Chicago trip, therefore it couldn't happen in Chicago.
going to show you a picture, Doc. Let me just find it real quick.
There was also an attempt in Florida. So there were 3 of them lined up before they actually got them in Dallas. Or maybe each time they failed, they came up with a new plan. It's hard to know if they had them mapped out ahead of time.
Here, this picture of JFK was taken about 10 minutes from where I'm sitting right now. There's a bunch of pictures of him. See if I can find more. Talking to a big crowd in town here. Here it is.
This is also what we would call a conspiracy theory, by the way. It's truly all conspiracy theory. It's quite possible that Clive just bought it.
That is a toothsome threesome there, though. I like me a Hulk. I like the Vacheron. Not crazy about the Speedy, but all right.
You know what? See, because me being me, if for some reason I got this Speedy, I'd get rid of the sapphire crystal and swap it in for Hesselite.
Better off just buying a Hesselite one in the first place.
Well, that's what I have. I have a 2998 that I swapped. I have a first Omega in space, and I swapped out
first
crystal
Omega in low Earth orbit.
Well, first Omega in space, that was honest when Shearer went up and simply was in a low Earth orbit, correct? And that was the point of the mission. So, yeah, nothing. There's no fakery or lying about that whatsoever. It's an honest Omega.
Oh my God. You know, don't trust the government. You can't trust the man. Hey, we have a super chat, Mikey. Are you mic'd up, Mike? Unmute, and we'll get you to answer this one.
Sure.
Super chat, John C. $2.
Do
you think Colin Chapman was guilty of fraud?
Colin Chapman was the designer of my car, the Lotus 7. It was his first design, and then he went on to he sold the plans and rights to a company called Caterham, and he went on to be the chief designer for Lotus, their Formula One cars, and that's what I know about him. I have no idea.
So you don't know what the fraud is a reference to?
I have no.
By the way,
no
Patel
idea.
Philippe, I don't know about if JFK went to the Elgin Diner, but I know next time you're here visiting your people, because you got people only 45 minutes from me, I want you to visit me, and I'm taking you to that damn Elgin Diner.
Is that what it's called?
A 3-egg omelet on me. Actually, no, it's called Ray's Diner, but it is the Elgin Diner. There's only one. And
it's I don't think he did anything. John C's a bit of a negative cunt, isn't he? Fuck me dead. Negative this, negative that.
Since
well,
when?
Fucking hell.
$2.
He just is.
$2.
Colin Chapman was a design hero. Colin Chapman was a design hero. Why don't we look at his brilliance instead of his shortcomings? I don't understand it. And John, what the fuck makes you so special? You fucking miserable cunt.
But thanks for the $2, you miserable cunt.
Yeah. Thanks. Guys, I'm going to wrap this baby up. We've gone a bit over because I had a few fuck-ups. I had some electrical problems. I love you, boys. I love you so much. Let's go through and thank our super chatters. We had
But before you do that, you might want to invite people to hit the thumbs up and show some appreciation. How about
upvote,
that?
Guys. Upvote, please.
Do it now. Use your tooth.
Rich Mitch, JD Montreal, Ghetto Matt, JD Montreal, Ant G, The Undertaker, Patel Philippe, Phoenician Cedar, Patel Philippe, Scratchy Luxury, Patel Philippe, Scratchy Luxury, Starchy Luxury, Patel Philippe, John C, Patel Philippe, Little Dave, John C, Venetian Cedar, Patel Philippe, John C. And I'm just going to run.
I'm going to suggest also that, you know, you were losing it a little bit, and it was just for comedic effect. And John C's not a cunt.
No. Here we go. I'm going to run this clip.
Hey,
Here we go.
everybody. It's time to upvote. Woo! Look, I can even do it. Watch. There. It was that easy. All I needed to do is to upvote. That's all you need to do. It doesn't even take a wiggle of your finger or even just a wiggle of one of my teeth here to upvote. Just do it.
You can use your tooth.
Thank you, Doc. We love John C. John C., come again. Spend your money here again. We love you.
Thank you.
We love you. And that's the show. We'll be back tomorrow. I love you guys so much.
Please don't play Mrs. Lie.
You got to practice your parade hand. Where
elbow, wrist,
play something.
Yeah, the wrist. You got to rotate your wrist at the proper point.
I don't know.
I really love
an
that
aversion
Mrs. Lie
that
clip, but
Mrs.
anyhow,
Lie clip.
here we go.
Something happens when I watch it.
It's a great clip.
The nausea.
See you later, guys.